Hello, good morning. Sorry, I am a couple minutes late. I had to back it up, but I had a really important phone call that I not only needed to take, but I wanted to take. So thank you for being patient with me this morning as I was late. I am doing a daytime stream because I want to get this out and over with. And it might be a longer one because we have a lot of stuff to get through. We are going back into what we were doing before I left. A look back at when Tony Mathis became the national spokesperson of Seth Rogers and At Night Media. When they first got themselves involved in this case, what they were doing, what they were saying. We're continuing on with our series of that. Plus, we've got a few current time catch-ups to do on some of the team and how they're maneuvering around currently. As you see, many of them are still dabbling here and there with misinformation. We've got a few corrections there and a few cringe watches there because some of the team members have been amping up again. And then we are going to discuss more of the Tony Mathis At Night, Seth Rogers component. And we also have the discussion of the filings in Philadelphia, well, in Pennsylvania. The judge there is a new filing in there, or signed a new form from the judge. We'll go over that. And I've also got some bits and pieces from a cringy cease and desist that was sent by Tony Mathis to Granny that I'm going to highlight a few bits and pieces of because unfucking real. So we got a lot to get through today. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful Wednesday. Let's get going. Good morning or afternoon, depending on where you are. I hope you guys have all had a great week so far. Hey, Cash. Hey, Elle. Hey, Shelly. Ree. Steph. Catherine. Lucy. Thank you for being a member for an entire year and putting up with me for a year. Much appreciated, Lucy. Hey, Helen. I've missed you. Well, I actually got to talk to you the other day for quite a while, so. But I'm glad to see you. I hope work's going okay today. Hey, Elma. Hey, Donna. Oh, I'm glad your mom's home from the hospital. Yeah, that UTIs can be really scary. They can cause all sorts of issues with all sorts of things. Oh, hey, Tattooed Aries. Hey, Sly. Hey, Taste and Amaze, Pointer Lover. Sasha moved to Arizona. I didn't know that. That's awesome. Hey, Chai. Hey, Dreams. Pointer Lover. Snippins. Banana Pug. Dreams. Margaret Allen. Tally Girl. B Fam. Bio Bo. Hey, Chico. Hey, Janice in Accounting. Hey, Diana. Dina. Not Diana. Dina. Tonka Girl. Hindsight. Baby. It's good to see you. Oh, Terry, I'm sorry. Yeah, they're the worst. UTIs are the worst. Hey, Gertie. Oh, that's cool, Aries. I didn't know. Yeah, I hope he's enjoying it here. I hope he's enjoying. It's the hot time of the year, coming up into the hot time of year, so we'll see how hot it gets this summer. But it's pool time. It's about When Kyle gets home, it'll be evening lives by the pool occasionally. So as long as I don't get stung by wasps this year on live stream, that fucking sucked last year. Terry, I hope you're resting, and which you're probably not. You're probably running around, but I hope you feel better soon. Hey, Toe Beans. PJ, I hope you're doing well. Pika, you're good. You do what you need to. No stress. There's nothing. We'll be rolling low and slow today, so no stress over here. Hey, S Francisco, Amy, my pal Sal Vintage. Oh, do you like Arizona, Aries? Hey, plus GGF10, or have you been here? Oh, you got one too, Margaret? I'm sorry. Hey, my Michelle. Like, I have had it out every night, Pika. I just can't talk about it because I get canceled because these sensitivity seeking Sallies. Hey, Revival. Tonka Girl, it's a must here with this. Go to your post today really quick. Hold on. Hold, please. Oh my gosh. Hold on. You have smooshes like this is identical to Charlie, Chico. Oh my gosh. If anybody's in the Tennessee area. Oh my goodness, he's adorable. Oh. He's identical, Chico, to Charlie, Smush's brother that comes and goes from our house that lives in that next door. If anybody's in Tennessee and wants a cat, there you go. Chico's dogs won't allow it, but she's trying to double duty and take care. Oh. Oh. Yeah, I can't let. Hopefully, Sis isn't on here. She's getting her injections, so I don't want to. I don't want to show her because you know how that's going to go. You heard her last night when we were on the phone and she was bitching at me. Don't tell me you're tired of North Carolina. Your humidity would be a lot different. People are probably different. I don't know. I've never been to North Carolina. So, hey, KNS, it's so good to see you. Hey, Deanna. Tonka Girl, the Midwest, I've realized hey, Marcy, once again, I cannot handle cold weather. When I went this last weekend, it was like 90 something when I left here. It was in the 40s and raining when I got there, and my entire body just hurt the entire time. I was like, yep, I'm not cut out for this anymore. Hey, Sunday. Beautiful kitty. No more room, half sour. I know, Elle, right? Hide from Kenzie. Oh, to Elizabeth. Yeah, we not ship it. I know. That's what I was saying. We and Chica were talking on the phone, and Kenzie, I was like, shh, we can't say it. And then I told Kenzie, and she's like, why did you tell me? And I'm like, they're on the other side of the country. You cannot go pick them up. Tattooed Aries, don't even get her started. She will go for shit like that. She's been known to do this before. Oh, you have 5 4-week-olds. Elizabeth, you're in the Carolinas, right? If anybody's in the Carolinas and is looking for a cat too, there you go. Elizabeth, one in Tennessee, Chico. They said you have to move the 13-year-old colony. Oh, geez. That's a pain in the ass. If anybody is, again, in Tennessee and wants a cat, reach out to Chico. Carolinas, Elizabeth. We're all trying to rehome. Right? I do. I agree. Oregon, the coast of Oregon is beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, we have a real dry heat here. It's super dry compared to everywhere else. It's really dry. It's a whole different thing. Hey, twin thing. You're in the Charlotte area. So anybody, yeah. He's beautiful, Chico. He's beautiful. Hey, Just Linda. Oh, the girls in here might have some recommendations. I don't know. Yeah, hot and humid in Texas too, the Texas coast. I would love to go to Galveston. That's one place I would like to go. Elizabeth, I will look at him in a little bit. Okay, you guys ready? Where do you guys want to start? Do you guys want to go current time and then into a look back? Or do you guys want to go a look back and then in? I think we should go with current time and then walk our way back into like what these people were doing. So first and foremost, let's talk about something random. I told you guys recently that I got added into court filings. Not in this case. Nothing to do with this. But here is my stance to the antis and your weird fucking games. Your lies in court are egregious. Trying to pull me in and claim that I was contacted to do something on somebody's behalf, and I'm basically the head of this anything when I've hardly ever reviewed you, ever spoken your name, ever, is ridiculous. I'm embarrassed for you. Embarrassed. And because you think you put it in court papers, you think it's going to work, Renell? EKC? I hope to God you can prove that anybody has ever contacted me to do anything, review any of you, because it doesn't exist. So you would have to fabricate it. So better get to work on fabricating your fucking evidence because it's not true. And you know that as well as I do. And the fact that you are still almost 3 years later trying to pull me into your fuckery when I have wanted nothing to do with any of you psycho fucking unhinged lunatic asses is unreal. Unfucking real. What you've done to people, one that's a sub, was only a sub, never had a channel, is disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourselves. But I hope to God you're prepared, because this girl right here never once has been contacted to do a damn thing on behalf of anybody else. Never once has been the head of any attack group. I've barely ever reviewed you, either one of you. You're pathetic and desperate. Take accountability for your own actions of the shit that you were involved in. I wasn't involved in any of that shit. I was on the receiving end of your guys' insanity. But that's currently one of many things going on. And it's disgusting. The shit that they're saying and claiming. I didn't even, Renell, let me just shut up because I'll handle it the way it needs to be handled. But lying in court documents is a big no-no. A big no-no. And if you think that I'm just going to sit by and not speak up or say anything, you've lost your fucking minds. This is the most I've spoke on either one of you. And forever. One I've never reviewed whatsoever. Talked about here and there with all of her bullshit with other people when she was on panel with other people. Oh, okay, that feels better. I got that off my chest. But if for anybody that assumes they know, if I'm not naming names or you think I'm implying something and you think I'm talking about you, chances are probably not, because there's a lot going on right now. A lot of behind the scenes shit that I'm being pulled into that I have nothing to do with. Nothing to fucking do with. Oh, Dutch, I'm glad. I hope her appointment went really well. Elle, I'm over it, as you know. Hey, Rotaro. Oh, I love that. They've got, I think, 12 right now on the farm and 19 coming. Hey, Lurker, I hope you're doing good. I hope everything went well, Lurker. I've been thinking about you. Hey, Lovelock. Yeah, Hope. Yes. Yes. This is the shit. I am so over it. It's absolutely, and how they even did this, or are they're saying this stuff, or like trying to make it true, it's never going to be true. I was never once contacted to for a single thing, to do a single thing. The only communication her and I ever had was because both of us were on the receiving end of the targeted harassment bullshit from them. Completely ridiculous. Oh, I was laughing until I got pulled in and accused in court filings of being targeting them when that's never even been the case. I actually have started going back and detailing every single time I mentioned either one of them and how many times I reviewed them, because I'm going to have it all prepared and ready. Because once again, they've said that I have deep faked audio, which is still on Manny Behind the Mic's channel, exactly where I clipped it from. So good luck with that. I can go right into my Facebook and screen record right where those screenshots that I posted on Facebook that they said I altered. No, we told you over and over again. That's exactly what was coming from the mods of the Facebook groups being sent to me directly. I just posted what they were sending because we knew they were turning on each other. I can prove that once again. Everything I've said, I can prove. And if you think I'm not willing to prove it in a court a lot, you fucked around with the wrong person. Anywho, carry on. KNS, thank you so much for the 20 gifted memberships. Welcome to the cabana, you guys. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Kim, thank you for being a member for 3 months. Yeah, L, I agree. Thank you for being a member for 22 months. Hey, Avi. Hope maybe once or twice. Maybe once or twice, but that's what I was like, dumbfounded, to be honest, completely dumbfounded by this. Hey, note to self, for those of you guys that don't know what I'm talking about, or the group, consider yourselves lucky. And that's the thing, is I've maneuvered myself completely away from them. They're not even a part of anything I do, never have been. They're not a piece of anything. They lumped me in with another group of people. It is what it is. But I am still 3 years almost later dealing with the extensive, exhaustive lies, the desperate attention seeking, the insanity, and they've been stagnant. Like, they do the same bullshit they have. That's all they've ever done. And I'm over it. Fucking over it. They're worse than anything I've ever seen. And they are coordinated. They are absolutely coordinated, just like what we're seeing in this. Hey, Mr. Cluminati Incognito. Hetty, it's good to see you. Hey, Selena. Yeah, Kim, it's crazy. Yeah, that is. No, BJ's rat poo stove. I did not. Is it something new? Let me go look. Hold on before we get going. That was my first opening segment because I'm beyond disgusted. When did she post it?
Can this still get plugged in?
Yeah, just clean it off.
I did.
Okay.
Then yeah. As good as it gets.
Should be fine. I'm not seeing it. Are you talking about, was it in the video? Was it in that video she made? It might have been in the video she made. Yeah. But in order to fight their ROs, though, they're now doubling, tripling down on lying about me and bringing me into it once again when I have nothing to do with it. Even being included red flats, you're not lost. It's a completely fucked situation from before. Exactly. Yeah. And even then, Hope, I was never a part of that shit. Was never in-depthly involved with any of that shit, but they won't let it go. Hey, Haley. Hey, Water Rider. Okay, let's start. Liberty Farmer. She was holding some markers. Let me look again. I don't think I'm seeing it. Let me see. No, that's not it. I'm looking right now. It was probably in that video she did, I'm assuming. I mean, nothing shocks me with her. Okay. So I want to start with Bullhorn Betty. We're going to actually walk from current backwards and just do kind of a review of what's currently going on because the team is moving around again, just like we talked about before I left. They are still moving around in very sly maneuvers. And we had seen that it was obviously upsetting Seth and potentially, in my opinion, Tony, that the creators on their team had started to move on and start covering other things. So there obviously was some sort of upsetty in the situation because none of them were doing what they were supposed to be doing. So all of them have been coming out and sliding in Sebastian content. And it's not typical Sebastian content. It's not the facts. Of course, it's rumors and speculation. So let's hear what Betty had to say.
Go ahead and get into a case that we are all too familiar with. And that is the case of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers.
So this is from the 19th. So 2 days ago. You see it says case essentials. Very interesting.
Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Many of you guys know this case inside and out. However, let's just go over a tidbit of information. But before we do, let me bring you guys all up to speed. For those that are new to this case, have never seen this case, while this is this intro video is an older video, I think it provides the clearest explanation of this case in a nutshell. Hey guys, Bullhorn Betty here, giving you breaking daily updates related to the Sebastian Rogers case. This is going to...
So in order to please the uppers, she has made a pre-recorded video that she's just adding into her other videos. So double duty in it with the exploitation of all cases at once. You know, they must have gotten in trouble. So now you see the team all kind of getting back into what they're supposed to be doing. Oh, and Nana, I'm sure you're here again. I told you yesterday to take a fucking full seat. I hope you're sitting down because I've got a shocking correction for you once again after last night.
To blow your mind, guys. I've been personally covering the case of Sebastian Rogers, a 15-year-old autistic boy that disappeared from Hendersonville, Tennessee. His mother, Katie Proudfoot, and stepfather...
Hey, Kim. Good to see you. Elle, actually, I am exhausted. I have taken naps Monday and Tuesday. I took naps. Thank you for asking. I'm going to tell you guys. If I seem off, people have been noticing that I'm not my perky with it self lately. I am exhausted, completely exhausted. Kyle's not home, so I'm missing him. The girls last week at school. So my brain's a million other places between work, everything else. It's just a lot going on. So if I do see him a little disconnected, I'm trying to get back on a normal schedule and get some rest and be back in the zone, but just bear with me for a few days. And chances are I will probably not be much better off because I think next week I'm headed out again.
Chris Proudfoot came out and told their stories in this interview about what transpired related to the disappearance of their 15-year-old son.
Yep.
Katie, Sebastian's mother, describes the day before he disappeared, Sunday, February 25th. They went to BJ's. He got a colossal popcorn. He was just a very happy, jovial young man. And they came home, put some snacks away, and then they went to a local bowling alley. And next to the bowling alley was a steakhouse where they ate. After they ate, they loaded up and went home. He took out the garbage, and the rest is history.
I want to make a couple notes. People on the team are still trying to claim that it wasn't him that took out the trash. Betty is confirming in her little segment here that he did make it home. He took out the trash. So that makes me believe that Seth is confident also because she is a direct leg of Seth's MLM. Seth and Tony's MLM. She is confirming that he made it home and took out the trash. That's the first time we've heard her acknowledge and not try to monkey around with the details of him taking out the trash.
He goes to bed at 9 p.m. Mom goes to bed at midnight.
She awakes at 6 a.m. to wake Sebastian up as she normally does, and he's gone. Christopher Proudfoot states that he was not even in the area at the time that Sebastian left the home, that he was many miles away as he was working in Memphis and staying in his camper in Mississippi. A lot of people.
I want you to notice the coloring on the video right here behind her. You notice how the scratches on Chris's arms are a little enhanced in this. Again, they changed the photo behind her.
People watching this case
That's going to come up in a little bit.
unfold became very, very skeptical of both Katie
I don't know,
and
Lisa.
Christopher Proudfoot's story about what happened leading up to Sebastian's disappearance.
Well, I shouldn't say I don't know, Lisa. I know what he's been up to. He's been covering the Jack and Lily case out of Canada. He's only actually covered Sebastian's case. I have him pulled up right here. He's only covered Sebastian once in the last, maybe twice, once in the last 6 days. So once in the last week. There's Spanky's. He's covered 6 days ago. He covered Sebastian. The rest is all Jack and Lily, Jack and Lily, Jack and Lily, Jack and Lily. Of course, that's how he does it. Hops from one to another.
Many people noticed the deep abrasion scratches in some areas looking like bite marks on Christopher Proudfoot's arms some 8 days after Sebastian disappeared. Seth Rogers, which is Sebastian's biological father, decided to start doing some ground searches and raised money on a GoFundMe page to aid those efforts. Christopher
Do what? Do what, Betty? You might want to correct that, Betty.
Sebastian left the home, that he was many miles away as he was working in Memphis and staying in his camper in Mississippi. A lot of people watching this case unfold became very, very skeptical of both Katie and Christopher Proudfoot's story about what happened leading up to Sebastian's disappearance. Many people noticed the deep abrasion scratches in some areas looking like bite marks on Christopher Proudfoot's arms.
Okay, hold up. Let's take a look. Those deep abrasions
Just express you are going.
were from this interview.
Stop.
Look at his arms.
Now searching for him.
Look at the color.
We were out and about that. A little bit later, I wound up going to bed, and when I woke him up for school, he wasn't there.
Look at the color change in the video that we're showing.
Sometimes.
At that point is that when you call 911.
There you go. Look at those. Deep abrasions, right? Mm-hmm. They love to lie.
Some 8 days after Sebastian disappeared. Seth Rogers, which is Sebastian's biological father, decided to start doing some ground searches and raised money on a GoFundMe page to aid those efforts. Christopher.
I thought the GoFundMe page was the money raised was to help Seth pay his bills because he knew he was going to have to be off work. I thought that was what the GoFundMe page was for 3 days later. And again, that interview was 8 days after Sebastian had gone missing. But we'll talk more about the scratches in a minute because Nana decided to go full stupid last night also and bring those up. But I thought the GoFundMe was to help pay Seth's bills. And we're going to hear Seth and Tony talk about that in our look back.
Proudfoot threatened Sebastian's father in a lawsuit related to the GoFundMe page and also the fact that Seth appeared to make the other side of the family, look bad. Many people went out searching for Sebastian Rogers, and the one thing that was missing out of all the efforts volunteers put forth was Christopher and Katie Proudfoot. And when people asked them why they weren't out searching for their very son that went missing from their home, they told people that it was because law enforcement told them to stay home. However, that very evening, they were seen at a barbecue joint outside of the home enjoying a dinner.
Not enjoying a dinner.
Meanwhile, never once searching for their very son that they
Really? Never once searching, huh? Even though Chris was out searching with Seth.
say they care about and want to come home. Media was in an uproar, demanding answers from both.
No. Random weirdos from YouTube were in an uproar, demanding answers.
Katie and Christopher Proudfoot, why they're not helping with any searches for their son.
Neither was Seth. law enforcement actually told them they didn't want them searching.
And what was their response? They got in their camper, packed it up, and took off. Sebastian
The camper was already out of town because of work. Then they left weeks later
Sebastian's mom and stepfather
after being stalked, harassed, and drones flown over their home.
took off to a campground in Mississippi, where they returned home for a short while and then returned back to this campground. Right now, it appears that the camper is still at
Weeks.
this mobile home park or RV park with Chris's truck, but we have confirmed Chris is not staying there and has installed a camera on the camper. There are so many people curious as to why there's a camera on this camper, but not on their home before Sebastian Rogers walked out that door. The sheriff was very cordial at the beginning of this search for Sebastian when he truly believed both Katie and Chris Proudfoot were deemed innocent and had no culpability in the disappearance of their.
We haven't heard anything from law enforcement that would suggest that they believe anything other than the parents have been cooperative and their stories have been vetted. We haven't heard anything from law enforcement that indicates that law enforcement has changed their opinions on Chris and Katie or Seth.
Their son. If you look at the newest interview Nick Barris has with this very sheriff, you see a much different demeanor. Does this case anger me? You darn right. Does it make me want to almost lose my mind? You darn tootin'. Chris and Katie have.
He has a different demeanor, maybe because he's sick of all the bullshit from people like yourself, that there is no evidence of foul play at this point in time. Everything's on the table, but sick of the bullshit that's came along with it. The people like yourself who think you're entitled to demand answers.
Have a lot of explaining to do, because what I just laid out for you is only a minor, small amount of the case against.
A minor, small amount of misinformation that they've built into salacious stories, and Sebastian's still missing. That's right, Hope. That's right.
So, as you guys see, that was the Sebastian Rogers case in a nutshell. He disappeared from his home.
It's gross.
And he hasn't really been seen since. The disappearance of Sebastian, it's also another case that has gripped this nation. It has not just gripped this nation, but has gripped the international true crime community as well. And this morning, we're going to.
Okay, I just got to mention this once again. Reputable true crime creators are not touching this case. And it's not because they don't want to bring awareness. Most of them have brought awareness to Sebastian's case. Duty Ron, others that I consider reputable. They bring information and awareness. Reputable true crime creators are not sitting here doing what people like Bullhorn Betty and the team, who are not true crime creators, who are an offshoot of like your Jerry Springer, Geraldo Rivera, Sarah Jesse Raphael, Ricky Lake. That's these people. They are at best smut tabloid-esque YouTube channels that kick people going through their worst times over and over again. They profit off of their pain. They create stories, fabricated storylines. They're storytellers. They're fictional storytellers who use people's worst tragedies, their most tragic moments, to exploit and further harm.
Delve into some details about Sebastian's disappearance and the timeline of events and questions that remain unanswered at this time. I don't know if we're going to find any answers. We're here now 15 months later, and we have not heard or seen Sebastian Rogers. No
Ava agreed.
sightings have panned out. And if you guys recall, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers was only 15 years old when he disappeared. And not only was he diagnosed with autism, but he was also diagnosed with a rare 6q27 chromosome deletion syndrome.
You notice right here that she has not really been mentioning much about the 6q27 chromosomal deletion. She didn't even know what that is until we started pushing back that they have diminished Sebastian's capacity constantly by trying to claim he is defective and so on. Her words, not mine. They have efficiently and very systematically tried to diminish the dignity of a missing child, that he couldn't walk out of the home, that he wasn't able to make decisions. And now that's not working anymore because some on the spectrum are extremely capable of making decisions. So now she's got to add in a second layer because that's not working anymore.
Sebastian was known for his gentle nature and love of gaming.
The spectrum is a spectrum for a reason. Not every single person is alike. There are varying degrees.
Despite his challenges, he was bright and endearing, according to his teachers. Now, to discuss the
She's reading something.
timeline a little more in detail, February 22nd, 2024 was the last time Seth, his dad, spoke with him. On February 24th, which was Saturday, him and his mother were seen eating at the food court of
Duchess, thank you so much for the, yes, sis, I do have the ice maker on. Thank you for the gifted memberships. Welcome to the cabana. Thank you, Duchess. Exactly, twin thing. Exactly. That's why I wanted to point or pull these out. Yeah. Yep, they do. Kim, 100%. Hey, Teresa. I hope you guys are doing okay. I'm really sorry. You guys are going through so much too.
Costco's after they were doing some shopping or before they were doing some
It's
shopping. But they
such
were at Costco's. If you don't know what Costco's is, it's like a Sam's Club. It's a wholesale food store, supplies.
By the way, it's not Costco's. There's no S on the end. It's Costco. Costco.
But they have a lot more than just food. They have clothing and a whole bunch of other stuff. So they were at Costco's on Saturday. We have a photo of it. It's a well-known photo that we've seen. It's the one that says optimism on it. It appears that there's a bruise on a thumbprint on the Adam's apple of Sebastian.
Oh, back to talking about that bruise again. Remember we poked on that the other day? Betty had stopped talking about the bruise on his neck that she believes was there. Again, her time frame of that bruise, that picture being the one that Katie shoved in Seth's face. I have questions.
And then we move over to Sunday, and we learn Sunday
Because the last time Sebastian was with Seth was the 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th, because 19th was a holiday, so school was not in session.
he had a fun breakfast. He called family to brag. They went and picked up a niece, met some aunts at BJ's.
And according to Betty, that's the very picture with the bruise that Katie shoved in Seth's face when he got to the home.
Wholesale, which is almost identical to Costco's, which is almost identical to Sam's Club. And then they came home, dropped off the snacks, and were at home for a little while. We don't know how long they were home. And then they left again to go to strike.
You know who does? No, law enforcement. Carry on.
And Spare. And that's a local bowling alley to them. Now, when they got there, allegedly, there was tournaments going on, and the wait was too long to get a bowling lane. So they ended up playing some video games. And after they had wrapped up with some video games, they ended up going over to dinner at the Texas Roadhouse. They arrived a little bit before 6. They left around 6:22. They pulled out of the drive around 6:25 in the evening, and they proceeded, according to everything that we understand, home. And when they got home, allegedly, Sebastian took out the garbage, and he was in bed by 9 p.m. Around 9:43, Katie rings Chris, and they proceed to stay on the phone from 9:43 until allegedly midnight. Now, I say allegedly midnight because we've known that it was midnight for a really long time. And then all of a sudden, just recently, a Dateline article came out. And that Dateline article basically says that she went to bed at around 11. So we're very, very curious about that. And then the timing of this thud or thump that came out of Sebastian's room has changed. We originally heard it was,
Oh my God. None of this stuff matters. Law enforcement has their timeline confirmed.
around 11, then 10:30, and then now it's 10 p.m. Now, on February 26th at around 6 a.m., according to his mother, she awoke and went into his room to wake him up. And when she got there, he was not in his bed. Now, a critical detail has been missing from this case from the very beginning.
Oh, what's
And that was his bed made or was it messy when she went in there at 6 a.m.? Had he slept in the bed? According to her statement, she says she immediately reached out to Christopher, which was 3.5 hours away in Memphis, working on the St. Jude's
which makes sense because that's her husband, her partner.
project. We heard that they called law enforcement, not 911, but the non-dispatch.
Actually, they contacted Seth Rogers first. He was contacted by text and by phone call. And then law enforcement was contacted. Chris was in Memphis. So instead of being rerouted through Memphis dispatch, he bypassed that and called Sumner County Sheriff. Big deal.
Line of law enforcement at 6:33 in the morning, some 33 minutes later. We also learned in another interview that Katie actually got in her car and drove around the community, or did she? So we have a lot of
They have a video of her driving.
questions. But despite all
The neighbors saw her leave.
of these details, there was a massive and extensive search that was done for Sebastian Rogers, involving drones, helicopter, K9 units. However, no
You need to rewrite your little speech here, Betty. It sucks.
trace of Sebastian has ever been found, even all this time later. Over the past year, the investigation has seen numerous development. The search expanded to the Kentucky landfill, where garbage from Sumner County
That was within the first 10 days.
is disposed of, but no substantial evidence was found that we know
Nothing was found of any evidentiary value that we know.
of. In November 2024, Dwayne Dog Bounty Hunter joined search efforts, increasing the rewards to
September at Night Media and Dwayne the Dog the Bounty Hunter joined.
$175,000, pursuing new leads in Oregon and New York.
Oh, Oregon. Oregon gets mentioned. Guess where we're headed pretty soon? Back to Oregon with more bullshit.
As of now,
I told you guys to buckle up. You're probably going to be here with me a while today. And to my rewatch viewers, thank you for coming in and hanging out and rewatching this insanity with us. You're much appreciated too. And if you don't mind, please go hit that thumbs up or the thumbs down button. Get this in the algorithm so people will see who these people are that are trying to do this in every case they can.
now the reward for information leading to Sebastian's whereabouts stand at an astonishing $500,000.
Sheila.
Despite these efforts, the case remains unsolved, leaving the community and the nation yearning for answers.
Sure, Betty. By the way, I just got to point out once again Sheila's name change. Sheila, the simple bitch, in the house. Sheila is in the house, the simple bitch. Fucking love that name. When you changed it and Pika saw it the other day, that was the best thing in the world. Best thing in the world. Lovelock, I appreciate the rewatch viewers. You guys are actually so important. It's amazing. Hey, Carl. Hey, Outer Banks.
Now, throughout this process, there has been a lot of scrutiny, and that scrutiny has been placed squarely on the mom and stepfather. Public scrutiny has intensified around Sebastian's mother, Katie Proudfoot, and stepfather, Christopher Proudfoot, due to several factors.
Oh, look,
inconsistent
what's the factors?
statements,
Oh, inconsistent statements. Okay, but Seth's statements haven't been inconsistent. Okay, carry on.
past allegations, behavioral observations,
Oh, behavioral observations from AI.
and deception related to who and when lie detector tests were provided.
Oh, really? Really?
Both have provided varying accounts of events surrounding Sebastian's disappearance.
Betty, write a better script. Come on, dude. You're failing miserably.
And many people noticed at the beginning of this case that Chris was taking over all of the conversations related to the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers.
Yeah, because he's protecting his wife and being the strong person in the forefront to take the brunt of all of the accusations and the bullshit to protect his wife and his family like a real man does. Carry on.
Yet he proclaims over and over and over again that he was 3.5 hours away and was not there when this child disappeared.
And there is no indication that he was anywhere but at work in Memphis, 3.5 hours away.
There have been concerns about child abuse, including reports of locking the refrigerator at night. Now,
And there has been zero proof at all that any of that is even remotely true, let alone that there is all these CPS reports. Nobody has been charged with anything in any capacity of child abuse. The team has been pushing that narrative.
now those have not been substantiated.
Right. So you probably should stop with that.
We also heard that they were putting him in the garage to sleep. Again,
Nothing to support that because the mattress wasn't delivered and in the garage until after Sebastian went missing.
not substantiated information in the reports, but what we did hear.
What reports? What reports? Because none of this was in the reports. This was all rumors and speculation from people like you from Facebook groups. Carry on.
Specifically related to these reports from the father
What reports?
is that the only place he felt safe was at his dad's home.
And again, Seth's words don't hold much water.
We also learned that in the counseling notes that Sebastian had with his counselor, he questioned why his mother hated him.
Once again, we've never seen said reports.
He outlined a lot of abuse. There were over 4, I'll say to cover my butt. There were over 4 CPS
Why are you changing the number now? According to Seth's own PI, Heather Cohen, at the time, when she was working on behalf of Seth Rogers, she went on a news segment right alongside Seth Rogers and said that the last CPS report was likely unfounded because it was closed. There was one opened when Sebastian went missing, and that's all we know.
Reports that were received by Seth Rogers. I truly believe there were 6 reports, not 5 reports. I believe he had 5 reports in his possession, and the 6th report, because it was open, was not released. So if we look at it from that lens,
oh, so she's adding to it now.
We have a lot more than meets the eye. Another allegation that has never been.
And you notice how we've been pushing on all of these things. We also put it into perspective that the CPS report started really getting pushed after the fallout with T-Rev 757 and Seth Rogers. After T-Rev 757 came out and acknowledged that there had been a conversation about purchasing Seth Rogers a staccato, the narrative switched. And Seth, in my opinion, tried to get in front of the fact that T-Rev 757 and his girlfriend, Michaela, had copies of the CPS reports. My opinion is that Seth willfully, knowingly shared those reports with Michaela, and he knew that they could potentially get in the hands of others. So instantly they came out and started creating a story about the CPS records, emotionally manipulating people about the CPS records, when we factually should not and cannot legally know what the contents of any CPS reports are because of the dignity of a minor child.
Been corroborated was the one with the pressure.
And we've heard other rumors from people that have supposedly seen them that there is not 5 reports. Again, I have no idea. I've never seen them, so I cannot speak as what is factual in those reports, the amount of reports, anything. I have my own opinions on it. That's that.
Washer. We have observed and have no.
And no, bitch, no, we're not going to slide that in there either, because that's not true.
Meets the eye. Another allegation that has never been corroborated was the one with the pressure washer. We have
There is absolutely zero proof. They don't even own a pressure washer, but carry on.
Observed and have noted quite often throughout our commentary on this case the lack of visible emotion. We've also notated the lack of Chris and Katie even consoling themselves publicly during this difficult time.
They need to console themselves publicly now for you to be safe and secure with how they're behaving. Shut the fuck up, Betty.
We've never seen them reach over to reassure one another, touch one another, hold, rub their back or anything. We have never seen any type of emotion between Chris and Katie or Katie and her son. We have
her son's missing.
Heard no urgency.
Back to the no urgency. Whose words are those? We listened to it last week.
Any public appearance or interviews. Nobody has been demanding outside of Seth for an abductor to release their son or speaking directly to their son without being prompted. And even when she's prompted, she's not really speaking to him. She's speaking what she would say to him. The polygraph test. Chris stated over a month that he had taken and passed a polygraph. He further stated that law enforcement had cleared him and Katie of any wrongdoing until the truth came out on the Nancy Grace show. These factors have led to widespread speculation and concern among the public. So a lot of this speculation is derived specifically by the statements they've made and the behaviors that they've exhibited.
Oh, because you're a behavior analyst, right? Shut up, Betty. God, she needs to put the AI down.
As we mark over a year since Sebastian Rogers vanished, the search continues.
Is this getting you accolades from Tony and Seth? This little script you got written up here?
Authorities urge anyone with credible information to come forward. And if you have any information, please contact the Sumner County Sheriff's Department or Sheriff's Office at 615-451-3838 or the well-known telephone number of TBI at 800-TBI-FIND. We're here and we have joined the community in wanting to learn more about this case and demanding answers. And where the heck are the public searches?
Ask Seth, you said he started a GoFundMe for searches and has not accomplished one, and said in the injunction that he searched a total of 4 times. But carry on.
Where the heck are the private searches? Where the heck are the isolated, targeted searches? Where is...
Not only that, but Chris and Katie, every time they've gone out and searched, they've gotten backlash for that. They've searched.
Law enforcement in this case. We don't know. You want to know why we don't know?
Oh, tell
Because
us.
they haven't even bothered telling us squat about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers in well over a year. They have had no searches.
Thanks for stopping by, Patty Ponytail.
They've produced not one scintilla of information to help locate or find Sebastian, and we have no details. Is this being shoveled under the rug? Because let's face it, in any other domestic issue, missing person, the last person that saw the person that starts acting suspicious typically has a reason.
We have no indication that she's acting suspicious. We don't know her baseline. None of us knew who Katie Proudfoot was until Sebastian went missing.
Act suspicious. So let's step back in time.
Oh, let's do that. I love this for them.
Let's step back in time.
Your team's failing, Tony. So are you, though. Just wait. Buckle up. I got you, too.
Go back to the very, very, very beginning.
Oh, let's
and
do
this
it.
is going to be a little different because what we're going to do is we're going to play the first two Duchess interviews. Now,
Oh, not Duchess interviews again. You see what the team is up to? Who else just went back to Sebastian Rogers' case and doing a deep dive of misinformation? Oh, did the team members get in trouble for not doing the proper emotional manipulation publicly again?
one was on the give me a second. Here it is. One was on March 3rd, and I believe the other one was on March 17th. So we have 14 days, excuse me with my hiccups, 14 days between them. And I want you to listen to not just their words. We're going to go over the words because I think it's important that we go over their words. I think it's very, very important that we go over their words because this was the beginning. This is what they told us. This would be the most similar to the statement that they would have told law enforcement at the time. Now, we know law enforcement has had to take notice of the inconsistent statement.
Demon, that makes sense. Like him saying things like that. But again, we have no indication that Sebastian in therapy or these therapy notes said, why does my mom hate me? Like, yeah, we've seen it all. We've seen what they've been doing. They're amping up.
That they've made. And we definitely know that law enforcement does pay attention to inconsistent statements. It is a major red flag for law enforcement to cue them to pay attention. We know that. I mean, any detective worth their salt on their badge, their name on their badge,
Salt on their badge.
knows that inconsistent statements are huge red flags. And when they keep happening over and over and over and over, well, that's going to cost you $5, Outer Banks. I'm just joking. If anybody wants to know what that is, Outer Banks is late. I just thought I'd tell the whole world that Outer Banks is late. Where were you, Outer Banks? Sleeping in? It's a
Outer Banks was over here hanging out with us. You're welcome, Betty.
Monday morning. You should be up rocking it out with your coffee beans out. All right. That's okay. We're glad you're here. We're glad you're here. So we're going to go back to the beginning of this case because I think it's important, because we need to hear what they said. And I know we've heard this stuff so many times, but every single time we go back to the beginning, we get something else out of it. Now, for this one, what are we listening to? We're listening to their sounds, okay? We're listening to what they wanted us to believe in the beginning and what it is 14 days later. What do I mean by that? I want you to listen to their voice because
listen to the breaths that they take.
A day after this one, Katie gave an interview where they put both of their faces on the screen. And we didn't get the type of emotion that we got from this first one. If it's uncontrollable, it's uncontrollable. How can you cry on this one with no camera, but can't cry on this one with a camera, right? But we're not going to look at the second interview with the WSMV. We're only
Of course not, because why would we want to be factual?
going to look at the Duchess because I want you to hear their demeanor from one show to another. One, they're trying to.
They weren't intending on going on Duchess. Seth was also invited. Duchess was bringing awareness. They decided to go up and talk. They did. There's that. They weren't prepared. They had their camera off. Big deal.
Get sympathy. And the other, they realized the sympathy tour wasn't working and they're a little more pointed. They're not as emotional as they want you to believe. The first one, they work very hard to try to get that emotional bug. Hold on, let me get back to where it's at. Oh, that's right. She talks so much in this one.
Okay, I'm not really sure what's going on in chat, but I don't know what's happening. What did Water Rider say? Water Rider, I can understand like you thinking that, but have you ever seen anything with it? I know you said you believe, but have you ever heard any of them say that? Just asking for me.
Okay.
Has anybody ever said anything like that? And I'm asking because I'm curious because I'd like to see that.
A little later in the evening, I myself went to bed.
Day that Sebastian went missing. I know that his mom said that he was having a good day. He had had a great
I
weekend. So do you want to walk us through what that looks like again for every?
I know you said it in your opinion, but the reason I'm asking is because I have similar wonders or questions about that. Is there one specific thing that you heard that made you feel that way? If so, can you point me in that direction? Because I would like to re-listen to that too.
Everybody?
I've got questions.
He did have a really good weekend, actually.
You notice how she's trying to cry? She's trying to tremble her voice. This is the very first one.
She's trying to do all these things, huh, Betty?
We're going to pop over to the second one in just a second, but I want to get this whole little blurb out of what she says happened so you guys can hear it for yourself in case you guys forget, right? We've listened to so many interviews. We've watched this case go from a missing person into a flippin' circus. Trust me, there's a lot of details we forget that happened early on before it became this hot mess express.
No details have changed. If you want any of the factual information, the TBI website is where you're going to go. That's the only facts in the case. The rest of it's rumors and speculation. And BHB, where is your retraction that Chris and Katie went to a motorcycle rally with Duchess and her husband? Because you've been lying about that for how long now?
When we come home from having supper that evening, he was playing. When he went to bed, when I told him to go to bed, he said, "I love you, Mama," and he said, "I love you, puppies."
So you guys get the gist of what they're doing. So this was, again, the 19th. Now we're going to take it back a little bit further. I'm not going to listen to that whole thing, but you see that the team is in high gear. We're going to take it back to May 15th now. We talked about what Crime Time Buzz was doing. So the team has obviously been corralled. They've been encouraged, in my opinion, to continue their coverage and the misinformation. So they are all one by one getting back into going through old interviews and pulling out things to speculate and create new rumors. Just like this one. The title of this video is Snap. Does the tattoo match Ford's Pond? What do you think?
Hello, everyone. Welcome in. This is Crime Time Buzz. We are talking about Sebastian Rogers' case here, and we are going to be discussing Ford's Pond in Sutherland, Oregon. Could it be a significant location? Look at the tattoo that KP has on her arm, and look at the outline of Ford's Pond located on Church Road in Sutherland, Oregon.
Do you see what they're doing here? Does the outline of Katie's tattoo match the outline of Ford's Pond? What causes people to even do this?
Could it be our eyewitness 100 believes
Oh,
she
okay.
saw them there? She went to the police, filed a report.
Water Rider, those things have stuck out to me too. But Dolly took down a lot of his initial interviews with Seth, so a lot of that stuff's gone.
Could that tattoo signify a significant location? Let's go ahead and get right to it. This is Crime Time Buzz. Thank you so much for being here. Go ahead, if you would be so willing, and hit that thumbs up on your way in. This,
Teresa, I think so. I'm not really sure though. Not positive.
is right here, 382 Church Road in Sutherland, Oregon. Here is Ford's Pond. This is where
Morning, Crazy Chicken Lady.
I say alleged sighting, but I 100% believe our guest who was on last week. And she,
Again, there is no zero zilch nada confirmation that there was a sighting of Chris and Katie in Oregon in March. And if you believe that eyewitness, I've got oceanfront property in Arizona for you.
is going to be coming on again. So hit that notification bell. We are working on a few things together, and then we will be back on together. Look at the outline of the pond. looks like a heart. Here's the parking lot where they all parked. Our guest.
Can you fucking believe this? They are desperate.
And the P-Foots allegedly, and the couple that they were with. Here is that opening in the water. And then here is where our eyewitness was fishing in this area between the two. And the bench that they were sitting at, the P-Foots and their older couple guest was at as well.
When I saw this, I was so pissed.
Oh, look at the outline. Looks like a heart. Maybe I'm wrong, but I was so shocked by that tattoo. And many of us have discussed, could it be significant? When our guest came on last week, she mentioned when she's out there searching, she's looking for that as a marker now, maybe on a tree, maybe on the ground. And in Sutherland, Oregon.
Oh, sorry, I bumped it back. Sheila, he did say at one point in time, something about now I'll have to pull that interview. In fact, I think I have it, that Katie doesn't love her son or something to that effect. I'll pull the actual one so we get his words. I want to back this up. I didn't mean to go all that way, but
look at the outline of the pond. Looks like a heart. Here.
Where do you like, you know how many things we can see in this? Again, the ink blot test would be amazing.
Here's the parking.
And I think we're going to do that too. We still got the eyebrow, the ink blot, and Chico and I have a live stream that we're going to be doing in the next here in their time.
Where they all parked, our guest and the P-Foots allegedly, and the couple that they were with. Here is that opening in the water. And then here is where our eyewitness was fishing in this area between the two. And the bench that they were sitting at, the P-Foots and their older couple guest was at as well. Look at the outline. Looks like a heart. Maybe I'm wrong, but I was so shocked by that tattoo. And many of us have discussed, could it be significant?
You were shocked by Katie's tattoo, but didn't have a problem with Betty's. Okay.
Significant. When our guest came on last week, she mentioned when she's out there searching, she's looking for that as a marker now, maybe on a tree, maybe on the ground. Someone mentioned, could it mark the lake? And when I looked at it like this, it looks like a heart. And if you take the spot to where they were seen, you could put the cross and not connect them. What do you think?
Unreal.
Could it be a significant spot? So here's the little opening that I wanted you to notice that I was talking about. That was on the far left of that picture. Could someone be put in there, and where would they go to? That's what my next research is. Here's that spot. Here's the sighting area with the bench and where she was fishing. Here's the parking lot. Here's the heart, the parking lot, that little opening in the water, and the sighting. I put the cross. It looks like that tattoo to me. And then I said the sighting was in March of 2024, like the mid-third week. It was about 10:30 a.m., either on like a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. At the time, our eyewitness did not know about the case. She just came across these 4 people. 2 were from Oregon, 2 were from Tennessee, and the older man helped.
Meanwhile, she never even spoke to the 2 supposedly from Tennessee. So how she found out they were from Tennessee? Telepathy.
Her with her line, helped her throw it in.
And that's complete sarcasm. How do you find out somebody's from Tennessee if you've never even had a conversation with them?
Arthritis. And then later on saw the case on TikTok and recognized the Proudfoots. She reported it to Sutherland, Oregon PD in June of 2024. She had gone searching prior to reporting it and after, and plans to go back. Sutherland, Oregon.
She's never spoke to law enforcement in Tennessee, but she's been in contact with dogging at night.
Sent the police report to Major Crimes at Hendersonville PD. We have that police report here at Crime Time Buzz. I've shared it. No one from Hendersonville PD or Sumner County ever reached out or contacted her. And
I wonder why.
The bounty hunters team did. Once they got involved on the case, they did indeed make contact. Our eyewitness 100% believes she saw the Proudfoots at the pond, and I 100% believe her. I do. Could that tattoo be significant in the location? Look at it. They were here. They were seated at a picnic bench. They were staring somberly into the water. They did not have a picnic basket with them. They did not have any.
They didn't have a picnic basket. And don't forget, there's just cars flying off the cliffs in the area. So make sure you look up if you go there.
Water containers. They did not have fishing poles. They were there when our eyewitness arrived, and they all left about the same time. The 4 of them, not our eyewitness, the 2 couples, the one from Oregon and the one from Tennessee, left in the same vehicle. Our eyewitness said SUV, but again, wasn't paying much attention because she didn't know about the case. There is
wasn't paying much attention, but had great detail about how bitchy they look.
RV park about 1 mile away from this pond. Also, Sutherland is not a high tourist area. It's not a town that draws tourism. It's a small town. So to go there, expectedly, there would be a reason to go there. You know of the town. You know of someone in the town. You have a reason to be there. There is an HOA park a mile away. Now, it is a 30.
An HOA park? a KOA.
7-hour drive from Hendersonville, Tennessee to Sutherland, Oregon. And that is in a regular car. If it were in an RV, like I've said, I have an RV, it takes longer, you drive less. So 36 hours, 37 hours, you're going a day and a half straight through, or you're breaking it up into less days, and that's more days, and that's significant, the 36 hours in itself, because you have to go there and back, and you're away from home after your child has recently disappeared. Very significant. Also said that allegedly, possibly, this is where they were during the Nancy Grace interview, in their undisclosed location in an RV.
No, no. No, that doesn't work, because in the month of March, YouTubers that you're associated with were driving by their RV park, and the RV was in Mississippi.
Allegedly. Okay. At the RV park, HOA park, 1 mile away.
People from YouTube were keeping them under surveillance. You forget that.
What were they doing at Ford's Pond? I can tell you what they were not doing. They were not.
There's no indication that they were at Ford's Pond.
Walking the trail. They themselves were not fishing. They were not having a picnic. They were not walking around the area exploring. They were seated at a picnic bench in the area you see in front of you. Seated right there, looking.
God, I would hate to see what they could find in my tattoos. Lock me up. There's something nefarious in these roses, I'm sure.
Into the water. And when the older gentleman started interacting with our eyewitness, the P-Foots did not. They sat there at that bench looking into the water. What led them to Ford's Pond?
Nothing.
Is it a significant location? I thought so.
No.
We have an eyewitness who spotted them there. They claimed they were not on vacations. What would lead you 37 hours away from home when your child is missing? And then to see the tattoo. Let's go back to it. To see that tattoo, which I thought was alarming in a way to me.
I thought it was alarming.
It's a heart that is not finished, has a cross. Usually cross is a memorial. I know we think of it as faith also, but in a situation where someone has passed or something, it is a memorial. So it is a good thing to be looking for it as a marker. But what if Ford's Pond itself is a marker? What do you think? Look at the shape that I drew. You don't need to agree with me. We're all working together. I want to know what you think. Church Road.
I'm pretty sure you're batshit crazy.
The actual address is 382 Church Road in Sutherland, Oregon. Looks like a heart, doesn't it?
Nope.
And the cross could be in the location where they were sighted, in between this water door, I'll call it, and this parking lot where they were parked. What were they doing in Sutherland, Oregon?
Where's the proof that they were ever there?
They weren't fishing. They weren't walking trails. They weren't hiking. They weren't exploring. They weren't having a picnic. What were they doing there? 37 hours away from home. And what do you think? Do you think the pond and the area of the sighting could be a match to that?
No.
That alarming tattoo. Agree?
Alarming tattoo. Katie's tattoo of a heart with a cross is alarming, but Betty's is not.
Green heart, I get it. A green heart, uncompleted with a cross, not connected, alarming in my opinion. What do you think?
Alarming.
What do you think? I will see you tomorrow. Hit that notification bell, please. Subscribe if you haven't. Tomorrow I will be on in the morning for Jack and Lily, and then back on in the evening for Sebastian Rogers. Talk soon, my friends. Please leave me a comment. What do you think? Does the tattoo match the pond, Ford's Pond, at 382 Church Road in Sutherland, Oregon?
Nope. And I think you are batshit crazy. So another team member is fired back up too, because, you know, we were asking, where did he all of a sudden go? So bloop, Mr. Dropping off bodies himself is back on the case. Mr. I'm going to holler into drainage pipes. This is from 3 days ago.
3 months, which would be 5 quarters, 15 months. We are quickly approaching a year and a half. No distraction, finding Sebastian. The goal, simple, bring him home.
Hey, NorCal.
Simply stated, harder to do. So this is the thumbnail. This is what you clicked on. Sebastian Rogers. Gone 446 days, as we just discussed. That's 1, 2, 3, 1 year, 2 months, 3 weeks. 1 week away from 1 year, 3 months.
Yeah.
15 months, 5 quarters. 4 quarters in a year. 15 quarters is
4 quarters. Oh, God. Please don't try to math. Math is hard for you guys.
1 year.
He's also the one that took the email about the Walmart and went and did the whole thing about the Walmart. I just detailed that the other day. If you guys want to go look at that, this guy is a nut.
In 3 months.
But he's really good friends with Crime Time Buzz and part of the team.
Was this KP?
Hey, Mal.
So there was a neighborhood yard sale. Right. At Sebastian's neighborhood today. I found this out last minute as I'm in town to search, to look, to come up with some clue, something.
Oh, Silvers was back in town again.
That can bring this boy home. This was presented to me So I said, hey, before I start my search, let me go drive the neighborhood to see
Not a team member keeping them under surveillance again.
maybe a couple of things. One, how many people were participating? Two, are they getting back to normal? They deserve normal. The neighbors deserve normal. And three, Sebastian's sign still up in the front yard. And would there be any participation on Stafford Court, specifically KP and CP, Sebastian's home? So did a drive-through. And it was very interesting. And that's the thumbnail you're looking at. So let's jump into, say his name, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. That's why we are here. So let's jump into the videos. So out of respect for neighbors, I didn't want to drive through the neighborhood and hold out a video camera. So
Out of respect for the neighbors, but zero respect for Chris and Katie or Sebastian. Okay.
So everything you're going to see is recorded on my dash cam. Now, for some reason, and I have to look into it, it's a mute button, I'm sure, but I narrated what I'm doing now during the drive. So as we drove into the neighborhood and, this house is doing the yard sale and this house, whatever I was saying, then it was on the dash cam, but there's no audio. So I'll be speaking that as we go. So let's go just a little ways outside, about a mile or so from the house. We'll go through the house, through the neighborhood and see what we see. So here we are, Silvers 2 and I in the car, I'm driving. And so you'll see as we come up, about when this video starts, you'll start seeing Sumner County Police here. To the left is Long Hollow Pike Church. We're on Long Hollow Pike, headed what would be west to Sebastian's neighborhood. Cars over to the left. And what we found out later is so many police vehicles around. We needed some type of event. I think it's graduations or whatever going on. So I think had the audio recorded on the dash cam at this point, you would have heard me start talking about Sebastian is missing now. Say his name, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, missing now 446 days, 1 year, 2 months.
Can you imagine riding in a car with this guy?
Months, 3 weeks. Now we're at what's called like the X, I've come to know. I'm on Long Hollow Pike, headed west. The car's going across. I just realized this today for the first time. So that is Shackle Island Road until you cross over Long Hollow going north to the right this way, right? And that would become New Hope Road.
Oh, Mal, I did miss it. Hold on. Let me go back to your joke. Let me find it. All the crazies live on church roads. Well, near church roads.
Which will take you to Latimer Lane.
I'll get in trouble for that one now.
Just past this, where you'll find Warsham's Market and Beecham's storage, things that have been brought up by a lot of people. You look across the corner over here, and that's going to be Sebastian's high school that we'll go through. So at this point, we're about a mile away from the
Why are they all amping up again with bullshit? Complete bullshit.
neighborhood. And
why did Silvers go there again?
All this, they even have cops here, police here. And you can see this is around 11:36 today, May 17th. And so we go, this is premiered everyone. You have Beach. That's a middle school to the right there. And now you're coming by Beach. They are the Beach High School Buccaneers, it appears to be. And then after the Beach High School, you'll have a small church where there's a cemetery behind it, the new neighborhood, and then Sebastian's neighborhood. And then you'll have to the left over here, the Shackle Island Voluntary Place Fire Center, where there was a command center for Sebastian back on February 26, 2024, as everyone was looking for.
That was the command center right there on the left.
For him. And here we go. So as I said, just want to do a cruise through, see, who all would be participating, how this poor incident, what has happened to Sebastian, whatever has happened, and wherever he may be affected, this yard sale. Now you see the signs right here, and the yard sale I found out from a local is a yearly thing, an annual thing, springtime, spring cleaning, if you will, getting ready for the summer. But of course, last May they would not have done this out of respect of Sebastian being missing. So I guess a year from now, and really no clues as which way to go, right or left, and trying to find Sebastian. You'll see right here too. There'll be a sign right there at Stafford saying garage sale, and people want to get rid of their stuff, clean up, and feel like a little bit of a normalcy, right? So here's to the left. This is the home, I say in the video, directly behind Sebastian's home. So they had something going on. They had people out in the yard, garage sale, if you will. Not many going on here, but you get up as we start going up. This is Kellen. As we start going up Kellen, look to the right here, the blue tarp, the blue tent. That home is also having one, and that home, most people know, that's where the Uber car, watch the mob crew, that's where the Uber driver had pulled in to pick this person up to go to the airport. That's also, I believe, where there's footage of the trash truck going by.
This is unfucking real. I'm sorry. This pisses me off. Maybe
even, a car. So this is the, the infamous turn that we believe the 3 a.m. car did the turn here. I didn't go down that road because they're cutting trees. So I just did a turn here. And all this is really important because you see I'm having to back up and it's just seconds, right? Like it takes me this long to do this and this long
All this is really important, huh?
to do that. So as I start going back down Kellen with the cars parked on the sidewalks, on the curb because of the yard sales, you'll see we're about to meet a car. And I'll talk about this in a minute. Could be absolutely nothing, but they allow us to come by. We wave, Dodge Ram, black Dodge Ram truck. We go on by. Okay, so that's where that video ends. It's a loop on a dash cam. If you're familiar, it'll loop. This loops every 5 minutes. So here you'll see us pick up exactly as soon as it loops, it starts right back where it is. So we're coming down Kellen now, much like we've driven before in the nighttime. You've probably seen on the mob crew the video of that. But it's a very nice neighborhood, especially it's a beautiful day. You'll see them. I have a search video, new place that I'll post later, possibly tomorrow. And so here we're taking the turn. Beautiful neighborhood, though, beautiful day on Saturday. Of course, this is the house with the flashlight video. This is the area of the flashlight, and the dash cam does fairly well on the width of the wide angle, but you still can't like turn it to see certain things. So you turn this corner, and then this is going to be Sebastian's home. The first thing you'll see, Chris's truck sticking out. You'll see Sebastian's sign,
His thing.
flyer right there. It is in there, and then something happens right then. And it's kind of shocking to us. This is why I wish the audio was good, because we're commenting on it. So we make our way up. There's no much going on. Really, there's only two, maybe a third one on Kellen, and there's only one here on Stafford. So it's in the cul-de-sac right at the end, as you can see, up the road, up the driveway. They have some stuff, and we stopped here to see what kind of stuff they had.
No, you didn't. You didn't stop there to see what kind of stuff they had. You stopped there to be nosy so you could look down the road.
And we honestly, too, that was the third reason. If we saw something that caught our eye, then we would have looked to see if we were going to purchase anything. So we looked at that. We looked up the driveway. We didn't see anything, but something was going on behind us that was also, we weren't sure what was happening. So we'll see that in a minute. I just want to run through. This is the front dash cam view. We're coming back down Stafford. As you can see, there's not really more, but look at this. Look who's coming here now. Just as we get to Sebastian's home, CP truck, the RV, there's the Dodge Ram again. See the poster in the yard. Way to go, guys. Still having your son's poster up. And then we come back to the end of Stafford, and we stop here for a few seconds. And basically at this point, not to bore anyone, we turn and we go out of the neighborhood, right? And that's it. Now, as we all know from previous videos with my dash cam, it shoots front, as you're seeing here. It shoots rear. Remember the time I went by on Katie, allegedly was Katie, coming out of, did I do the disclaimer? I think I did the disclaimer. Let me do the disclaimer again, just to make sure I have the disclaimer. I'll throw this back up here. The content in this video is for informational purposes only. Everything you see in this video is alleged, and in my opinion, not to be taken as fact. Okay? Thank you for your support. I also throw the disclaimer up too, because there's Sebastian Rogers, say his name. I'll throw it up too, because what I'm about to show you now, just want to make sure I'm on public property, and I'm, the dash cam is videoing. So much like when I went by the house many, many months ago, and everyone likes to talk about the car that possibly could be the car at 3 a.m. in my video. Well, this is what's going to happen now. What typically happens is I see things forward, right? I don't have another camera running. You can't turn this house we can't turn and look at anything. If someone was standing on that front porch, we wouldn't see them in this video. But as we
This is unbelievable that they're doing this still.
go by, I do have a rear camera, and it catches things. So now let's take a look at that. The first thing you're going to see, there's two things I want to know. They got a Bigfoot thing here. I like this neighbor here, a huge Bigfoot. And he's kind of under a tree. I don't know how long that's been there, but it caught my eye. But right here where I grabbed the video from the rear, you'll see this is that Dodge Ram. You saw us go by. And now that's that Ram. And so I'm not saying, I'm driving through, right? So I don't know if they were there for the yard sale. I don't know if they said, hey, just take this time because there is a yard. I thought there would be more vehicles maybe driving around.
Are you going to try to imply that they're following you?
Now, this was, like I said, 11:30. And
Even though you mentioned that there was garage sales, graduations, all sorts of things going on.
I believe they started at 7 a.m. and it went to maybe 2 p.m. But so anyway, let's just watch. I'm not going to say anything. Watch the video, and then we'll see what kind of comments we can make. I will say this: we're coming down Kellen, so we just passed. That's a reference point, just passing the thing. You can see.
I think so. My Michelle, why? She was modding for multiple places at once. Did I miss something? I think she's okay. Last I heard, she was okay.
The house off to the right that had the video footage that was having their garage sale. We'll be coming by the house shortly right here. That's right behind Sebastian's home, directly behind. We all know that home. There it is. They have their stuff going on. And we're about to take the turn now right onto Stafford, where a 3 a.m. car, all that happened. And now we'll be taking, as you get on Stafford, take the turn. You have one home to the right before you see Sebastian's home. And as we approach Sebastian's home and we look over, we see this.
Batman. Not Katie pulling out of her driveway.
Did you see it?
Oh my God, they're pulling out of their house.
Keep watching. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time I've ever in person seen KP's car. And you see it's coming out. Now, allegedly, that's why the disclaimer's on the wall. It looks like KP's car. It comes out of KP's home. It was backed in. We're going to go back and see it again, but it was backed in. It pulled out front ways. We stopped here, as you saw in the first video, to look at the stuff and watch.
No, you didn't. You saw them pull out and you wanted to be nosy, so you pulled over.
Watch. Is she driving? That's the title of the thing. Was this KP? Someone's driving. Is CP driving? It appears to me from stopping the video, there's only one person in the car. Now, at this
why are you running?
point, I'm not trying to be ego that they even know who I am. I'm trying to find their son. I don't really care to see them. I want to find their son. Their
How many times have you driven by their house by this point?
stepson and son. By the way, let me stop right here. There goes, watch, there goes the round truck. Poster in the driveway. That's great. So we
There was yard sales, community yard sales going on.
go, and it looks like from here, we'll go back and look at it, that they may stop and check the mail. So at this point, I don't know if they were coming out without us coming by, but when my car went by, is there any way they may know of my black SUV and that I've been through the neighborhood? So I get to the stop and I need to punch in directions where I'm going next. So we sat here for about 20 seconds and wasn't sure what was going to happen. And then you'll see allegedly the car coming. And about the time it's getting close to us, I've got my directions in and I go to turn right to leave the neighborhood. And I did not know what this car was going to do, but we can watch for ourselves. Here it is. And they go left, or she goes left, or he goes left. So at this point, I'll stop and say, real quick for me, has nothing to do with Silver's on the scene. Either KP, either CP, either both of them, or someone else, allegedly, because you can't make it out. If you can freeze frame it, I can't see. The rear cam is not as clear as the front cam. Probably couldn't have seen it on the front cam either. It just appears to be her car. My thoughts are she was driving through the neighborhood to see, the yard sale. Maybe it was just simple as I'm going to stop at the yard sale or see who's doing the yard sale.
Or maybe the fact that you'd driven by her house how many fucking times by that time?
Because she's obviously going, or he's going, or whoever's driving this
Who knows what they were doing? But creepers in their neighborhood once again.
car is going back through the neighborhood. Now, I'll continue, and then we'll go back. As we get to the stop sign, because it is a stop sign, Kellen and you, Long Haul Pike. There's a lot of vehicles coming, and
Why don't you stop and visit Bobby?
I'm still seeing if I need to go right or left based on the GPS. And you see who comes up behind me. So we had this truck, by about 20 seconds, maybe 10 to 20 seconds. It may be
Not the truck again.
nothing. We drove through, right? It may be someone looking for a yard sale deal, a lawnmower, or something that if it doesn't stick out to them, there's no reason to stop. But the vehicle here did exactly what we did, which was drive up Kellen, turn around, drive back down Kellen, turn on the Stafford, turn around the cul-de-sac. We paused in the cul-de-sac for about 20 seconds. I think it was. We could go back and count.
There was community-wide yard sales.
No, looking at that, what was for sale. And then we came out, and then we had about a 10 to 20 second pause again. So we were about 40 seconds ahead of them, maybe. Anybody knows who drives this black round truck? Not saying they're doing anything, but allegedly, I don't know what they were doing. So I just thought that was just another. So it's really two things. So let's go back.
So you're doing all these things and it's not stalking, it's not weird, but everybody else doing the exact same things as you is stalking and weird and suspicious, right? Is that what we're getting at?
Back to this. So here it is.
Your behavior is normal. Driving through their neighborhood, recording over and over again. That's normal. But anybody else driving through doing the same thing is abnormal. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll stop right here and say this is the second time this has happened to me where I go by the home. And a lot of people believe that wasn't Katie way back then. And it might not have been. I don't know. It could have been her friend who we know there was a car from Illinois there. But there's this knack. I've only been by maybe
But I thought they were in Oregon in March.
half a dozen times. But for her to be coming out at the same time I'm coming by, it's weird. It's just a coincidence. But it always asks me, what does it mean? It's like, I'm doing the right thing. I'm trying to find her son, right? Are these occurrences saying to me, stop and say to her, hey, you want to help me find your son? Or can you give me some insight on finding your son? Maybe that's what I'm missing. I don't know. I thought to myself, should I have got out of the car in the cul-de-sac and said, hey, I don't know if you know who I am, but I've been looking for your son. I'm about to go look for your son, and I have a location, but you have a different
I'm sure they recognize that little tuft of hair you have on the top of your head.
location. So anyway, let's just move forward. I'm going to move it forward. And as we come by, you can see at this point, this is your thumbnail for the most part. It's the second garage door. And Katie obviously has backed in, at least this time. Don't know if she does it all the time, but she's backed in. She's pulling out of the garage. Allegedly it's her. Someone's pulling out of the garage. What appears to be her vehicle. RV is here. The van is there, work van. CP's truck, and looks like it's kind of looks like the driveway is just narrow enough for a one car, so it's blocking this garage door, and it's kind of in the grass. So from here she stops, which I think she's waiting for a garage door. If you watch the garage door come down, okay, and it starts coming down right there. She then moves her car further out, and at this point, in my opinion, what I believe, whoever's driving this car is like, okay, I want to check on the yard sale. Should I go down Kellen first or do my own road first? Which then I believe they obviously decide to come down this road, Stafford first.
Yep.
So what happens here, and we'll just do this count. So we get here, and I've realized that she's turned because I can see that she's coming this way. And so I'm like, as I said, do it. So I stopped the car, 20 seconds. I think it was
Shitting himself.
19. So let's just see how long I'm sitting there.
I wonder why there's no audio. They didn't want us to hear that all of this was build up, I'm sure.
It's 10 seconds right now. So for about 10 or 11 seconds, I sit there. I move up a little bit. I sit again.
Same.
Just a few seconds.
I agree. That's why I'm bringing
The question is, had I sat there, would whoever's driving this car had just sat behind me? And as you watch,
I know for a lot of people this isn't interesting or anything like that, but this is what needs to be seen. People need to understand what the team is still doing, what these team members are still inciting, what they are causing for Chris and Katie. This is abnormal behavior, and people need to know what is still going on and happening to these families.
they don't really look. I mean, it's really quick to figure out. I mean, there's not much there, as you can see, for sale. But let's just watch. It's kind of not really a pause. So I don't know. I mean, they're not doing anything. If they came down because of my car, then no one did anything, right? No one got out of the car, all that. And it appears as coming back down, now there's an opportunity to check the mail, because you can just pull up to the mailbox and there goes the black Ram truck. But it looks like at this point you see how the car's turning. It looks like it goes to the mailbox to me. Okay, and we take the turn. Now we can't see. So, but I believe whoever was driving, I believe that the possibilities are more Katie than anyone driving the car, and was just out to see, who's participating in the yard sale, looking for a steal of a deal or something. And then that's it. And I can't tell if there's two people in the car or one. So there you go. Like the thumbnail says, was it Katie? Was it KP? I don't know. And I don't know if one day something in this video can help find and bring Sebastian home, but I just thought I'd share it. And, the great thing about these videos too, is with all the recent, court things, and it was a great outcome with Bullhorn Betty. Congratulations, Andrea. Congratulations, Bullhorn Betty. Hope you watch this and can hear that, but it's a great, win for YouTubers, creators, because, and then you have a video like this to where you see that, there's nothing keeping anyone from driving through this neighborhood. So if you want to, look, we'll stop right there. Look, we'll stop right there. Look at that. I will say this, and I'll give the Proud Feet credit. The sign used to be right up here. It's kind of blocked by this coming down. The sign used to be right here. It's standing more straight. You can see it better. And I noticed right now their mailbox is actually open. And so that they may have noticed that on the way by and stopped over to get it. So we'll just watch one more time. We'll let it play. You can rewind it yourself and watch. But I wonder if, a couple of questions I have. Does Katie always back into the garage? Is that something,
What does any of that matter? Silvers, how is this helping? It's not. You know that as well as I do. This is stalking. But you notice how he mentions Bullhorn Betty and, the win for YouTubers. No, sir. No, it's not quite a win. But the team is really feeling themselves after Betty got away with that. So here they are, once again, showing, look at us. We'll just continue to do whatever we want to this family.
My samples for my job, I back into my garage. It's easy for me to unload them through my SUV hatchback. It's easier to unload anything if you have groceries or whatever, if you back in. So I'm just curious if she backs in. Maybe it's a standard practice. Makes it easier when she pulls out. But she was obviously, or whoever, allegedly, right? We got to make sure we say that. Whoever was here, whoever was driving this car was backed in. Somebody backed the car in. And of the times I've been, not that it means anything, right? People can park any way they want to park their own. I can't make out who's driving. I've tried. But people, you know, I've always seen CP's truck to the left, looking at the home in front of the RV, and then the van beside it. And then you never see Katie's car because she's always in the garage. Here comes the Dodge Ram. Probably has nothing to do with nothing, but there's Sebastian's poster, his home. Trespassing sign is still up, no trespassing. And that's it. So what do you think? You know, just, I find it's odd.
I think you've all lost your fucking minds.
Sometimes when you run into people, is it meant for a purpose to talk to them? You know, could this have been the day that I, kindly said to, if this is Katie, hey, I just want to say, hey, first of all, I hate that Sebastian's missing. Second of all, is there anything you can tell me to help me find him? Third of all, I'm about to go look for him. Do you want to go with me? Maybe I should have done that. And maybe that's where I need to get better. But at the same time, with the case with Betty and with other things and how they've been and no trespassing, and even though it's public property, cul-de-sac or not, you never know with these two. And I would love to think I could approach them and get help to find their son. But in my opinion, I don't know if that would be the case. So I think inside, I know that subconsciously, and I just stay away. But first time to see the vehicle, possibly first time to see her if it is her driving. And there it is. Yard sale at Sebastian's neighborhood, Saturday, May 17, 2025. So that is the video. You can go back and look at it yourself. Here he is, missing teen, Hendersonville, Tennessee, where I sit right now doing this video. $447,000 reward. And
Oh, he didn't just do that, though. In true Silver's fashion, while he was there, he went out and searched, or so he claims.
Hendersonville, Tennessee, but I'm not in Sumner County, but I'm very close. And I just want to check this area out, see if there's anything that stands out. And I come across this mattress from the road. So let me show you. Serves on the scene, and we're in Hendersonville. It's Saturday, May 17th, and we're searching for Sebastian. Speaking with a local, and we were led to this place, which is in Hendersonville, but adjacent county. So let's take a look. Yeah, that thing's been there a while. So this road, and I'm not going to give this location, but this road, like I said, you can hear the freeway just to my right. This road just kind of comes in here from
Are you going to sniff the air, dude?
a pavement road, and it just ends, and there's woods like this all around it. I just want to get some footage of it because it's becoming more and more difficult now to find. There's plenty of places to look. It's like a tent. There's plenty of places to look. Don't get me wrong. The question is the timing of everything, and where do you spend your time and where do you look without going around and around in circles. You're going to see video from earlier where we were in the neighborhood. They're having a yard sale. Just so happens, don't ask me why, I end up seeing Katie Proudfoot. Allegedly, Katie. It was her car, allegedly her car.
Yeah, so you can see what that team member is doing. Let's check on another team member from May 17th. Let's go to Smiley right quick. You can see they haven't stopped, and there's no intent, in my opinion, of them stopping.
I wanted to talk about Sebastian and hey, K-Mac and everybody coming in. Trying to drink my coffee this morning. It's already getting cold. It's already getting cold, but I got my fan going on too. It's actually hot in here. It's going to be hot outside, but it's making my coffee cold. That part. But let's talk about Sebastian. It is Saturday, May 17th, and I want to keep his name and face out there. That Raymond said, they said God made heaven for children, but I have a hard time with hearing about children passing away. I know There's something I'm going to put out. I didn't do it. Somebody sent it to me, and it was a teen, and they were talking about something to that nature. Hey, Maria S. And it was sad. I think I will pass it on later, but it was really sad. I just didn't feel like handling it, and I didn't know if a lot of people could, but I might go out. I might put it on later. But yeah. Hey, Bobby. Hello. Yeah. Prayers to everybody affected by the storm. But we do have to remember children are a gift from God, and one day He is going to want those children back, including us. You know, everybody's a gift, but it's up to the ones that grow up.
I think it's absolutely cringe that these creators have changed their faces and their avatars to Sebastian.
To choose what they want.
She put bats over his face or birds or whatever.
So let's talk about Sebastian.
Yeah, let's
Who
talk.
holds the key? You know, I was just thinking, I wonder what Sebastian would be doing today, Saturday. If he were here May 17th, 2025.
The same day Silvers was driving around his neighborhood.
You know, what would he be doing? Would this be his weekend with Seth, his dad? Would he be living with Seth by now? Would he be spending the weekend with his mom if he was living with Seth? Or would he still be with his mom?
And none of that matters.
Right, Grace. Or maybe, you know, you don't know, things change. You know, I don't know. I'm just saying, I was thinking about it. And, oh, you did. Thank you, Bobby, so much. Oh, my goodness. And I know people has been getting other people. There's people, I got a sub who even got people in Canada talking and putting Sebastian's name out. And this is wonderful news. Thank you so much, Bobby. Thank you. But I wondered if Sebastian would have a girlfriend. You know, and you know,
What?
I get weird like this. I just start thinking stuff. Y'all know I always say it's not good when Smiley starts thinking.
Weird is
It's not good when I start thinking, because when I start thinking hard. Okay.
Oh yeah.
You know,
hard.
Would he be going on a trip with the school? You know, sometimes schools go on trips and stuff like that.
What is
Hell,
he doing?
could he have been at the right place at the right time and maybe saved a life? You know.
What?
And then as I was thinking that, when I made that statement to myself, yeah, I talk to myself a lot.
Help anybody?
I started thinking, we never know. We really never know. And then I was like, damn, you know, he could have even at some point, you know, how all these people are sick. And then it come up about Lady Freedom's and stuff, daughter. And I thought, you know, what if Faith, he needed something from him? And then I thought, well, he's not her blood relative, so that wouldn't work. And then I thought,
Captain Ganja, this is Smiley Stories World, a part of the team.
this is interesting. I thought, what if his own mother needed his blood type or his, you know, something to save her life? Wouldn't that be interesting?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Wouldn't that be interesting? But he's not there. He's not there. He couldn't even save her life if she needed him to, right?
Yeah, it could be.
We never know. See, people don't think like I do. They just don't.
Thank God we don't.
You know, it's not good when I start thinking. It's just not good. But we will never really know. Thank you, Raymond. Thank you so much. Thank you for the membership. Thank you.
What's this?
We never really know what would happen because he's not here. But who holds the key to knowing? Somebody does.
Oh, weird.
I wonder what Mom, Katie, and stepdad is doing this Saturday. Oh, yeah, K-Mac. I'm a deep thinker. I used to think when I was little, and I used to write my feelings down. I can get in deep.
Look at your comments show up on the screen in the little corner back here. This is new on StreamYard. I just found that. Look at that. Your little comments can... that's kind of cool.
You want to talk about rabbit holes? I can get in deep if I really wanted to. Yeah, he probably would be happy in that program.
That's cool.
You're a deep thinker too. Yeah, I think it's real quiet, and I get into something. Yeah, okay, Matt. Yep.
That's
I
cool.
used to write a lot of stuff. I could have made 100 books by now. I could have had somebody to
Yeah, could you please stop?
dissect them, or what do you call that? What does writers do? They write them and then they let somebody proofread and stuff like that. I could have did all that, but I didn't.
Oh.
Mom said they're probably drink. They probably are. But I wondered. So I wondered if mom and stepdad. This is what I wondered. I wondered if maybe they've been entertaining any poker games lately, or been doing any casino visits, or maybe just maybe they've been entertaining any older couples. I don't know. Maybe.
What are you fucking doing?
Maybe Chris and Katie's been entertaining back pages. I don't know. Y'all know what
Bat cages?
back page is?
Back pages. Once again, trying to imply that they were okay.
I couldn't think of the proper words, but I did know there's a back page out there. I haven't been on it, but I do know what it is. Yeah, I've been going to Pig Fest. Hey, YouTuber. Look, Smiley may not do these things, but Smiley knows all about these things. Smiley stays in the loop. Smiley
Oh, yeah.
stays in the loop. Oh, K-Mac, there's two older things, okay? Now one was on the Crime Time Buzz from the, all that in Oregon, whatever happened in Oregon. Okay, that's that. But you might have missed mine the other day. And this comes from a reliable, absolutely vetted, checked out, whatever source.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay. Gypsy. Excuse me. But
the loopity loop.
Excuse me.
Got to keep them in.
Oh gosh. But no, I was just saying the other day, which they're allowed to eat. Yes. But I was just saying they were with this older couple, and it didn't seem, maybe it is family, but it didn't seem to be. It was not the Bowersox or anything like that. They had changed their.
Oh, another older couple. Are you trying to imply that the same people that they were not with at Ford's Pond, because there's no proof of them being at Ford's Ponds, is the same couple that they were at Longhorn Steakhouse with their Smiley?
Steakhouse, and wasn't at Texas Roadhouse, but they were with an older couple at Longhorn Steakhouse at Gallatin.
Yeah, agreed.
And even Chris was being the gentleman he always wants to portray, and even help the lady to the bathroom or whatever. And
oh, how dare he be kind to somebody and help him to the bathroom? Wow, what a horrible person.
But I even when I heard Jay talking about Oregon Crime Time Buzz, I even asked her, because I even asked both of them, was this a other picture that I had been working on of the older couple? They both said no, so that wasn't, they ruled out. But I think Crime Time Buzz does have pictures now of people in Oregon. She's gonna see if the lady will let her put it out now. I don't know, because there is a police report done on the one in Oregon. I'm gonna let Jay speak on all that. That's hers. Because I never paid much attention to that until I found this out. But I'm wondering.
Oh, that's hers? You mean that's Dog the Bounty Hunters?
I don't know who this old couple is. Again, none of my business. They can go out and eat with who they want to eat with.
Yeah, so why are you having people follow them?
But it's just kind of weird because Katie don't have much family that's here in Tennessee, right? But they are hanging out with old people. I don't know. I really don't want to get into all that right now. Grace said, Smiley, that North Carolina photo still bothers me. Yeah, I know. But yeah, that was said, and absolutely that can, what I'm talking about. Yeah, K-Mac, you probably missed that one the other night, but just be listening to Crime Time Buzz again. That lady did do a police report on that, and again, that's hers, but yeah.
In June, on a supposed sighting that she didn't even know anything about, a child being missing in March. Okay.
That's the whole thing. So yeah. I was just saying in mine that they switched to Longhorn Steakhouse, so it must have really been true that the way Katie showed her ass and took the investigator down to,
or maybe they felt like going to Longhorn instead of Texas Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse, they had to choose another steakhouse. That's just my opinion,
Yeah, your opinion's stupid. But because you guys have asked for it.
Did y'all not see it? It was Duchess. See it. It was Duchess.
I guess if you ever go to Texas Roadhouse, you can't go to Longhorn, according to these fruit cakes.
But who is the older couple? I would love to be on a fly on that wall. But yeah, this person was actually in there eating and actually saw that. Yeah, they're pricey. They are. Yeah, Bobby, I don't know about the one in Washington.
They're not that pricey.
But I know the one that they're
You can get good coupons for these places too. Carry on,
talking
Smiley.
about in Oregon. There was a police report. It was FOIA'd and everything made on that. Hey, Junior for Ab. Hello. Member for 4 months. Woohoo! Thank you for putting up with me for 4 months. Thank you for putting up with me.
So the team is in high gear, as you can see.
Oh yeah, Lady for Justice. Hello, listening while at work. Hello. Everybody put thumbs up. Long ago too in Oregon. Yeah, that's the one. Yep, absolutely. Hope floats. Absolutely. But yeah,
yeah.
I doubt. I know that. I feel like, in my opinion, hey Roxy, hello. You doing your Saturday chores? I feel like that Katie and Chris are, like he said, you got to go on about your life. I guess that's easy for him to say. It's not his blood anyway. But I guess they're, that's what they're doing. They're going on about their life. And I feel like they're definitely not laying up in each other's arm, wallowing or pitying each other or crying, holding hands or trying to figure out.
Notice Betty said similar things.
What to do to get LE off their ass to break the case, in my opinion. I don't think they want the case broke.
Notice a very consistent theme here.
They want people, in my opinion, to just go away. Frankly, they want the people to leave Ellie alone, in my opinion. I know what they're not doing. I know what Chris is not doing. He's not texting Seth or calling to see, and Katie's not calling to see, might Seth need anything, or they might.
Why would they call to see if Seth needs anything? He's a grown man.
Could just take him. Everybody's so worried about Seth. They're not doing the big orange. I feel Chris's favorite color. They're not doing the volunteer state thing and calling to see is there anything, or texting. They don't even have to talk to him. Texting. They don't even have to have They don't even have to have.
Why do they have to call and ask Seth if he's okay?
Yeah, they're still there. They don't even have to have no contact with him. They could text him and say, because he is Sebastian's biological father and he is pretty much alone. They could text and say, is there anything you need?
Why?
Do you need a hot meal delivered to you? Ubered to you? Is there anything?
So Chris and Katie, the mother of the missing child, needs to reach out to Seth and ask Seth if he needs an Uber meal delivered to him. What the fuck is happening? This is why I say when I go away, whoever is opening these doors to these crazies, you motherfuckers shut them.
This do
much.
They're the ones that don't want to have no GoFundMe page, which you don't anymore. They're the ones with the big bucks, right? They could do something. They have each other. That would be the humanly thing to do, to check on Sebastian's father, in my opinion.
But why can't Seth reach out and check on the mother? Do you understand? What is happening here? His team, Seth's team, attacks Katie on Mother's Day, but it's her response. I can't. You can't make this shit up.
Stop worrying what all of these YouTubers think, for Christ's sake. That includes me. That includes any YouTuber on here, period. Exactly, Miss Grace. Exactly. But yeah, but they can afford to go to steakhouses, right? Right? Yeah. And why ain't LE coming out doing any little thing? Look at Canada. They're coming out almost daily. Even if they're not physically doing it, they're putting out statements damn daily. Yeah, decent people would at least text Seth. Chris, didn't have the decency to pick up the phone first and say your son's missing, or wait till he got off the phone and picked up the phone and called. But he could text in, and then when he called, say, oh, don't be mad. Crazy. I mean, that just is mind blowing to me. Chris said early on, life goes on, does it? It might for you, and it might be easy for you. Yeah. Absolutely. Exactly, Tina girl. Chris, you didn't like Sebastian very much, did you?
When I heard this, my mouth was dropped open about the same amount of when the old lady tried to rob me with the walker. I had about the same reaction. The audacity of this one thinking that it's Chris and Katie's responsibility to coddle Seth. Why does everybody have to coddle Seth? Seth has developed his own team. He has his own team of people that he surrounds himself with. You're being one of those people. So why does he need Katie to reach out and coddle his ass? Again, it goes back to what I talked about the other day about Seth losing. If losing Sebastian would mean losing access to Katie, I think we're seeing a prime example of even the team recognizing that poor Seth needs coddled by Katie.
I know you're listening. Now, only if all of your other little pesky problems would just disappear without any attention whatsoever, Mr. Chris, would have it made in the shade, right, Mr. Chris? All of your little pesky problems being no Katie, no Seth.
This is
You
unreal.
could get a wife number 6.
Unfucking
Do
real.
shiny things. You wouldn't have to look back. You could have fun for a while. Then you can move on again until you're set off again.
Hey, Kay.
Right, Mr. Chris? Oh, wait. Wait.
This is unreal.
What a life.
It's unreal.
What a life. Only this time, Katie and all the things surrounding her or associated to her can't just go bye-bye. They can't just go bye-bye so easy, right, Chris? Chris, I'm talking to you because, darn, if that happened, y'all, and he tried to get rid of Katie or something happened to Katie, and Katie knows this. Katie's smart. See, and he didn't expect none of this to go this far. They expected Sebastian just to be a runaway and it go away. Hey, Janice. But see, nothing can't happen to Katie. Katie's smart and she knows this. Hey, Cinderella.
She knows what?
Because if something happens to her or Seth, actually, unfortunately, Chris is going to be the first one they look at.
Oh, is that so?
But see, he tried before Sebastian went missing. He tried to leave this one.
Oh, did he?
He didn't want her. He tried.
Where's the proof?
But Chris, in a million years, did you, Chris? Chris, in a million trillion years, didn't think even Katie was going to choose him over her son. Allegedly, Chris said, yeah, Chris put his own self in that position. He said, Katie, allegedly, I want my home back. I'm coming back to my home, and you either choose your son or you choose me or whatever, but this shit's going to stop, right?
No proof of that whatsoever.
He had no idea. Hey, WV Holla Girl. He had no idea. The same thing I've been telling y'all. That she wasn't about to go back to her rags. She wasn't about to let that clock strike 12. And she was the mother that was going to put her man, the man she loves, her man. Remember what she said in my interview? He's mine. I love my man. I don't know about y'all, but I love my man.
So who got the memo and who'd you get it from? Tony? I'm assuming it was probably Tony. Her ass, Miss W.
So she chose her man. She chose her man. I think he was as surprised as anybody. Woo. She didn't choose her son. Now, where is her son? I don't know. But she really screwed things up, didn't she, Chris? Now you're all in a mess. You, her, your family. Chris, sometimes you have to actually watch what you say and what you wish for. Some people literally might take it to heart. And I believe Katie did just that. In my opinion, Chris now owes her. See, she allowed him to lock her in. She allowed that.
Mm-hmm.
But she knew she had him by the balls.
I do too.
He has that alibi. And they are both in this together. They have this huge secret. And his name is Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers.
Oh, really?
And if one
Tell us more. More conspiracy. Here we go. Just like you said, Lisa, here comes the conspiracies.
goes down, they both are going down. And possibly more of his family.
Yes.
Who has had to help them and cover and support.
Everything that we've watched thus far is from the 15th on. The date of this is the 17th. May 17th. Every bit of this is new that we've been watching just since the 15th on. Crime Time Buzz, the Ford's Pond with the tattoo was the 15th. Silver's on the Scene was in Hendersonville on the 17th. This was the 17th. Betty's video that we started with was the 19th. All of the team members are doing these same exact things. And I believe it's likely because they got a memo of Seth being pissed off. I mean, Seth is making comments claiming something about people are protecting a family of serial killers. Seth is still in chats acting up.
And Chris can't let that happen. But hey, they can't get rid of Katie either. Hey, Jude. They cannot get rid of Katie either because that's too big of a risk. Still, for them all, actually. At least right now. At least right now. So unless some freak out.
And this is why I say it's so interesting because Seth claims that, we want everybody to continue to look for Sebastian. We're trying to bring awareness to Sebastian. Every one of the team members believes that, and it says publicly that Katie and Chris did something to Sebastian. So which is it? You don't have your team spewing all of this rhetoric and hate speech towards the mother of your child. You don't condone this shit and then say, oh no, he's still out there alive. Your entire team is spewing this rhetoric. Every bit of them. And now it's fucking wild.
Accident happens.
And we know he's given his stamp of approval to this type of bullshit. It goes
some freak accident were to happen.
I genuinely believe that that's exactly what we've seen over the last couple of weeks and what we've been watching is the team trying to paint a narrative publicly, switch the public perception that Chris and Katie did something to him, and they're trying to attempt to build a circumstantial with no body case. Betty spoke about it in one of the last videos we reviewed last week, and they just continue to amp up. And now the team is in high gear again. I'm sure they got their asses chewed because they started moving on to other cases.
They will just go on living their miserable life unless law enforcement steps in my opinion, or unless someone starts telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you, God.
NorCal, not a single bit of new information. Nothing. Just regurgitated, added to new narratives and rumors from this group.
Or until Sebastian is found. Either way. Sebastian was last seen with his mother, Katie Proudfoot, at Texas Roadhouse on camera, snapping photos of him, which looked like, in my opinion, a secret. Why? I don't know. Not too much bonding going on. It didn't look like she could stop, strolling or flipping through her phone. She couldn't look her son in his eyes. Why? Why was she so preoccupied? I think it's very possible. That's just my opinion.
And we found out last week when we watched Betty that law enforcement has absolutely zero contact with Seth. They're not giving Seth anything, according to Betty. But then you listen to TikTok Tony and Seth when they were hanging out with Spanky around Christmas time, and they were saying that they were speaking to law enforcement every day. But now we know that that's not true. and all of their narratives fell flat around the holidays.
Yeah, I would like to think they would not do that.
Yeah. Yep.
But who was Katie trying to look for in that restaurant? What was so important in there?
You guys, I know a lot of this is redundancy, but this is why I'm going to these things. What we're trying to do is a mix of what the team is currently doing, so people are aware that this is what is actually still happening to this family. They're still keeping them under surveillance. They're still attacking them. They're still creating rumors and speculation. They're still doing the targeted attacks on the parents of a missing child with no proof, no evidence to suggest that they're any way, shape, or form involved in the disappearance. And all of this is being co-signed by TikTok Tony, the head of the snake, and Seth Rogers. These are their teammates. These are their people, their selected, chosen ones.
Who was so important? Maybe who was so freaking good looking? I don't know. Just kidding.
Hey,
Just
Sammy.
saying.
Yes. Yep.
Someone had her attention, though. Her son didn't.
It's terrible.
Not until she told him something or said something that really got him upset and so nervous, in my opinion, that he started shaking his head no and biting his fingernails. I mean, we all seen that, right?
Oh my God. We have no idea what they were talking
It's
about.
just sad.
What's sad is the fact that you are so desperate in doing this.
He had to be upset the last little bit of time she spent with him. If he was going away, why would she tell him at all? Why would she upset him at all? The last time Katie spent time with him, why would she upset him? What a witch. I'm just saying.
We have no indication that he was upset.
Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers' life changed forever that night. How? I don't know. But it changed. It changed forever as he knew it. It changed. As he was used to it, it changed. As he will ever know it again, it changed. And no matter what, and no matter how you look at it, in my opinion, there's no one else that can be at fault but his mother. That's my opinion. Thank you, Hey Jude. Thank you if you got that membership.
Once again, blaming Katie.
Thank Hey Jude for that.
No proof.
And Blunt says, it breaks my heart. I'm going, oh, yeah. Thinking about how much they excelled in life. It's not fair to Sebastian. That's right.
Unfucking real.
Yeah. Yes. She could have been telling him that. She very well could have been telling him that. Absolutely. We don't know.
Unreal.
We don't know. We absolutely don't know. Yeah, talk about his mom and his truck being at Worsham. She wanted him to something and he refused. Yeah. He doesn't see something happening with Sebastian's case until Seth gets Ellie to do more pursuing the Bower Sox. Well, somebody needs to pursue something. Hey, Shorty. I do too, Miss Grace. I feel in my gut this was pre-planned. I have for a very long time. Very long time. Absolutely, in my opinion, pre-planned. But in my opinion, there's no one else that can be at fault. This is my opinion and my opinion only, except for his mother. Because if all doors were locked and all windows and all doors were locked, and it's been said on many panels by their mouths, even the LEs, no break-ins, no break-outs. You know, the mom was put herself there. Chris was put.
We might have to break this up into 2 segments. These people are going to drive me nuts. And I forgot how much, there's so much more to what they currently are doing on top of going back into what Seth, Tony, and At Night are doing. But all of them are working in tandem.
Put herself there. She allowed Chris to put herself there. If Sebastian would have went out, you know, you would have saw a shadow. He would have been on camera. You know, mom didn't have nobody allegedly in the home. You know.
So don't get mad at me if by the time, because we've still got more to get us to current time on what the team is doing. And then I want to walk it back to what Tony and Seth and At Night were doing and are currently doing. So we might have to break that up into 2 segments and do one this evening.
Not her husband, you know, gave him a good alibi. You know, nobody else in there, you know, per her husband and her, they were on this phone call. Allegedly, it's been checked out with LE, whatever, whether that was, they had other burner phones, whatever, it don't matter. And he was in Memphis. They locked her, him and her locked her, and she allowed it in with Sebastian. And there's no evidence of nobody coming in taking him. There's no evidence of him walking out. Then, in my opinion, and a DA or a prosecutor is going to say that in front of a judge, in front of a jury, the same thing I'm saying now. He did not walk out that house. There's no proof of it. How did she get him out? Did she put him in the car or did he not come home? What? There's no proof of it. There's no scent. Nothing. And if it is, then LE needs to come in and say so. Hey, Tennessee Twister. Exactly. And she could have handed him off and brought his shoes to the house. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I've been yelling for months. They should have checked and seen if she bought any other shoes or somebody else bought other shoes or whatever. Yeah, if they got the road cameras, sure would have. If Ellie's got those road cameras, then yeah, it should have. Again, does Ellie have that? Did they get that? I'm sure they did. I'm sure they know a lot more than they're telling. So if he got home that night, and I tend to believe he did, but if he got home that night, I'm telling y'all, he did not walk out the house. So Katie Mae, how in the hell did he get out of the house? Did you have him laying down or did you put him in the trunk? Or what the hell, when you went out that morning, where is your son? Or, Ellie, question to you. What exactly did you check in the house? Could it be possible he's still in the house? I've said it before. I don't like Seth to hear this, but it is what it is. Go get some damn warrants and see, recheck the house, check any freezers, check to see where the hell.
Freezers, ma'am?
Is he at?
I think law enforcement has done their job and searched the home.
You know, stranger things have happened.
Are you fucking joking?
And why won't they stay at that house?
But meanwhile, the same day she did this video, Silver's sniffing the air, was driving by and they were at the house. What happened to all the theories that they sold their home, they left their home, they're on the run? Where did all that go?
You know? Katie?
Freezers, yep, she said that.
You're the one that's made yourself look guilty and gave your husband an alibi. Chris, you're the one I asked you from this jump. Did you believe your wife had anything at any time? Just an inkling of second, a split second? No. And then all you've been doing is hollering on here, I got to protect my family. I got to protect my... Why? You wasn't there. And why? Why?
Because that's what a good man does, is protect his family.
Now, y'all are in this together.
Oh, really?
And you're both going to go down together when this comes out.
Oh, really? The confidence. What's going to come out there, Smiley? What do you know? Besides your dentures. By the way, if you didn't see that, again, no shade to anybody that has dentures. I would love to have them too. But fuck you, Smiley.
Making money 12 hours a day. Hey, you can't go wrong with that. Hey. Make that moolah. Make it rain. Make it rain. Make it rain. Bitch, what the fuck, bitch, what the fuck, bitch. So on one hand, I want to believe Ellie, but on the other hand, I'm so freaking, absolutely freaking tired of Ellie. That's just me. And I begin to wonder as well. On the other hand, I'm so freaking, absolutely freaking tired.
I'm so tired of your shit.
That's my opinion. Yeah, CP and KP have lied and fooled Seth and did everything else.
Oh, really?
You know, everything that's happened.
Poor Seth, they should reach out and DoorDash him a hot meal too. Fuck out of here. Duchess, if you didn't hear that part and you're just coming back in, rewind to when I first start reviewing Smiley and listen to that shit. You're going to fucking fall over.
To Sebastian under his roof, they probably made promises, try to work with him, try to do this and do that, said we'll do this and we'll do that to keep their asses out of trouble, just like they did when the school sent people out and the CPS and the schools and everybody was manipulated by them so they didn't get in trouble way back then, period.
Hate that, Ellen. I agree with you too.
You can only manipulate people so long.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Katie, did you bring Sebastian home? And if you did bring him home, what happened to him? What did you do with him?
She's flipping her notes, making sure she's hit all of her talking points.
If anybody knows where Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is, please, for the love of God, do not keep this secret. Don't keep the secret. Tell it. Send tips to TBI@10.gov. Call 615-451-3838. Oh, and don't forget, if you want to get a person ballot extension 1, call 1-800-TBI-FIND. Call 1-800-FBI. You can send tips to Sebastian at manhunt.1, and you can call 1-833-TELL-DOG.
1-800-TBI-FIND, Sumner County, your local office of the FBI, wherever you want to call, not Dog Bounty Hunter. Thank you.
Who holds the key? Who holds the key? Don't throw that key away. Sebastian needs to be found. If you've thrown that key away, you better go to the landfill and get on your hands and knees and start digging and finding the damn key.
What?
Thank you for joining me on this beautiful Saturday. Please pass out his name and face, hit the thumbs up, and have a great day.
And don't lose your marbles like Smiley did. Don't be doing that. All right, we got a couple more. Yeah, we're going to split these into, we'll do the Tony, Seth at night stuff tonight. I promise you. I don't have anything going on tonight, so I will come back tonight for the second half, but we've got probably still another hour of this left to go to even catch up to, and we're still behind on the current. I need to do an update also on the psychics and shit of what's been happening there. That's been insane too. They haven't stopped. People think that they've stopped because some of them have moved on. Oh, no. No, they sure as fuck haven't. They amped the fuck up. And BJ's back into it too, which I've got a few things to correct over there. Because I told you, stay doing drama. Stick to your drama. Sorry, plugging in. Because you don't want to come back down this road, because I will correct your misinformation and make you look like the fool you are. Every fucking time. And I don't just have to talk about it. I can actually do it. All right, but before we go to BJ, we're going to go to another team member on the 17th. Lolly, Beautifully Broken. See, now that Spanky has moved on a little bit and is doing another case, some of the lower level team members are really coming out to shine lately. But they play a huge role in the misinformation. This is Lolly, Beautifully Broken.
A lie detector, a polygraph, and they have both passed with flying colors.
And once again, you'll hear the same narratives inlaid between Betty, Crime Time Buzz, Lolly, Smiley, Silvers, all of them. They're definitely getting their talking points by watching each other and maneuvering together.
Then we find out later that the stepfather never took a polygraph test. He was never tested as to whether he's lying or not lying.
Really? But Robin Rogers, the mother of Seth Rogers, came out and talked about how even law enforcement gave her the results of Chris passing a polygraph. But you're saying Robin's lying now?
Yeah, that should be on the polygraph questions. What were they doing at Fort Pond in Oregon? Just less than a month after Sebastian went missing.
Where's the proof that they were ever in Oregon? None of you have been able to provide that.
And
I could make a police report and say I saw an alien. Doesn't make it true.
Because of questions like that, you have to stop and think. March, wait a minute, he went missing the end of February, and here it is, the middle of March, and they're in Oregon. But yet they tell us he ran away. And it only took them a couple of weeks to go through with their vacation. But if you recall, we have the stepfather who says, you know, law enforcement has pretty much told them that Sebastian is no longer with us. They're pretty sure of it, so they need to move on with life. Well, if law enforcement was so sure of that statement, why have they not come out and spoke that? Because here we are 15 months later still trying to figure out, is he or is he not with us any longer? Yeah, Brown Out Girl, I think he does that quite often because that's when we get the most extravagant stories we hear from him. Oh my gosh. And you know, the way he goes about telling us his version of everything that happened, although he's very adamant he was not there. I have never heard.
Rufio, you're probably right, but I wouldn't even attempt it. I would say we could try it, but I wouldn't even waste their time, nor could I be convincing enough to like, or believable enough to even make that. But you know what I'm trying to get at. These people just make shit up. Anybody could call in and say anything at this point, and they're going to run with it.
A person sit and argue as many times as he has in a case about a missing child, his stepson. It has never been confirmed, Sky Maiden. Never been confirmed. The only confirmation that we have about a polygraph being taken is Seth. And Nancy Grace is the one that confirmed he took it and he passed.
Oh, now, Demon, you're correct. They're just creating new shit. Now the story is that Seth is the only one that's taken and passed a polygraph. Meanwhile, we know that Katie has. Okay. All right.
They had been giving him medication and he went in to take his polygraph test, but the medication was making him so sleepy he couldn't quite stay awake.
This is unreal.
Trust me, I get that. A doctor put me on some medication just to calm my nerves down. I couldn't stay awake. Could not stay awake. And I'm talking, I reached across the bed one time, just leaned across the bed. It was a high bed, and I leaned across it to reach to get a swimsuit so I can go get in the pool with everybody else. And my best friend comes in and says, "What are you doing? We're waiting for you." I had fell asleep. Stretched, leaned halfway across the bed. But that's what that medication did to me. So I get that. So when he changed his medication up, he went back in and took a polygraph test and he passed it. And the only thing that we've ever had confirmation with that is when Nancy Grace told everyone that Seth took it and he passed it. As for Katie, as for Mr. Chris, no, there has been no confirmation. Either one of them have gone in, taken a polygraph, and passed. But they want us to believe that is what has happened. We heard early on, and we're talking a year ago. So, you know, we're talking 12 months ago. He tells us yesterday he took a polygraph and passed it. Both of them had. We later find out, nope, he has never taken one. So even if they come out and tell us, look, we both took them, we both passed them, I don't believe them. I am not sure. But that's how colorful their stories become. And, you know, yeah, everybody, if you're going to put anything in the comments that you assume or you feel or whatever, I understand, I get it, and I could care less about the, in my opinion, or allegedly thing, but for your protection because of other channels who love to bring up the subscribers.
Ta-da!
The people in chat. Those,
which we hardly ever talk about anybody in chats, but carry on.
Things in their opinions. Please put those. That way they can't say anything against you. So that is the only time or reason I would ever, because
she don't care about you making all the crazy accusations against Chris and Katie.
There's this word called common sense.
Oh, common sense from Lolly. Okay.
That if you're going to put something in there about what you think, I'm going to automatically assume that's your opinion. I mean, that's pretty obvious to 90% of the world, but then there is that 10%. You know what I'm saying?
Rufio Upchurch gets a little tinfoilish off. He was making connections that don't exist either, though. In his, I don't know if it was shrooms, LSD, like he was going a little far. Quite far.
Yes. That is it, Tracy. They would much rather attack people.
He was accusing creators that are decorated military, like Zanime. Is that right? Zanime? Of being involved with horrible things and Ickmeld, and yeah. Upchurch got a little out there.
Take them to court, all the things, trash them up one side, down the other side, and then turn around and dox every tiny piece of your life.
Do what?
Just because they want to. They don't
Where's that happened to you?
have to have a reason. Hey, Legally Blind. Yes, I just got that. So yes. Yep.
God, these people hurt my head.
So after I'm through, I have the rest of the day off. Nothing going on today at all, guys. I even laid down. I took a nap. I had to take a pain pill today for my back. It was just about to kill me. I could hardly.
Yeah, Rufio, he started doing things like taking names out of their things and implying, yeah, it was way out there. Almost like Pizzagate stuff.
Walk. And so I finally broke down and took one. It's not a very strong one, but I took what I had here and laid down, put the heating pad on my back, put my rub stuff on my back, and I took a nap. It was much needed, guys. So yeah, we have all these different stories. My favorite is when Mr. Chris always tells us that he is not allowed to indulge on that because law enforcement has asked him not to.
Again, this is all current time. This is the 17th. You see what the team is up to? Let's get to this one, and then we'll take a break and come back and do the Tony section because there's a lot to that. So the first thing I'm going to go with here is, I want to talk about this because I've got this pulled up. So Nana decides to enlighten Craig last night. You can only imagine how wonderful this is.
Anybody hurting you?
Well,
so coach them before they got there.
Well, supposedly Sebastian spoke out. I know for one of them, and this is what Chris has said. Supposedly Sebastian has spoken out to the school. He told his teacher something. We don't know what he told the teacher.
And the case is still ongoing. The court case.
Yeah.
Can I say something to Craig?
Yes.
So in that interview, Chris had scratches all over his arms.
Oh, did he? Did he now, Nana?
And he claims that when he came home that day, when Sebastian went missing, when he came home from work.
Where did he claim that when he came home that day?
Work. Because Sebastian was missing. He sat down and played with the dogs, and the dogs scratched his arm.
Oh, so the very day he came home from work, he sat down and played with the dogs. Meanwhile, that interview wasn't until 8 days after, but I got you, Nana.
Yeah.
And BJ says, yeah.
So here's an interview that Chris.
So let's just go back and look at this. Okay, so here is the actual interview that they're talking about that was done on March 4th, 2024.
So first, just express, I can't even imagine as a parent what you two are going through. How would you describe the situation right now? How are you coping?
We're on a constant roller coaster ride of helpless and hopeless and many other.
Feel free, if you're on a cell phone, to zoom in on his arms, and you'll notice the scratches that Nana was talking about and, making sure Craig knew all about. The scratches that were after this interview. This is the original interview where they're barely noticeable, but they were enhanced and highlighted and circled, and everything changed about the video and the photo to make them look way worse than they actually even present in the original. Carry on, Nana, you blubbering buffoon.
Emotions all in one, and it's a never-ending roller coaster. It doesn't stop. It
Yep.
won't stop until he walks through the door.
He's got a shadow under his eye. Looks like bags under his eyes.
I wouldn't wish this on anyone.
But this was 8 days after Sebastian went missing.
Not anyone.
And if you think for 1 second, if he showed up with scratches all over his arms and law enforcement didn't notice that, again, I got property in Arizona that's oceanfront to sell you.
I know we're about keeping hope alive. I'm sure that's in there somewhere.
Intentionally, Rufio.
Always.
Very much intentionally. In fact, Dog the Bounty Hunter stated that they are creating probable cause. That's what him and Nick are doing. They're creating probable cause.
He's going to walk through that door.
Hey, Sasha.
And the street will be flooded again with
Oh, let me take that off.
family and relatives all waiting to hug and love him. And
Sure were.
That boy's gonna have more friends than he knows what to do with when he comes home.
Now, again, look at those scratches.
So here we are, 8 days now searching for him. Walk us through that Sunday night that he went missing. So walk us through, we've got so many people who really want to know, okay, how did this happen? So kind of just walk us
Never say
through
never.
that night.
We were out and about that day. We were having a really good weekend. We got home. Everything was pretty normal. He was playing in his room. When I told him to go to bed, he did. He said, "Good night, Mom. I love you." Said goodnight to his puppies. A little bit later, I wound up going to bed, and when I woke him up for school, he wasn't there.
So in your mind, that's usually around what time? When do you normally wake up? Around 6 o'clock?
6.
So were you instantly thinking something's wrong, or were you like, he may just be already in the shower?
I took a
in the living
second.
room?
I took a second and walked through the house looking for him in case he'd gotten up and was trying to get breakfast or something, because he did that sometimes. About 3 minutes in, give or take, I was on the phone with my husband. I said, "I can't find him." He said, "What do you mean you can't find him?" I said, "He's not in the house."
Look at those horrific scratches 8 days later. Yeah, he's definitely got bags
So
under
at
his
that point,
eyes.
is that when
You're
you
good,
call
Sammy. You're good.
911, or what's going through your mind?
while we were on the phone, and
I'm just as irritated.
I was like, is he on the other side of the bed? The normal places he made
Sure did.
in the house,
Amen.
you know, and
Sure did.
it wasn't. So I was like, okay, well, hold on a minute. And immediately after that, we called the sheriff's department and made the report.
I ran all over the house, outside, inside. I looked in every closet.
Within minutes, they were here. They responded within minutes, and here we go.
So you said you were on the phone with her, so
Yes,
you were not home.
No, ma'am.
And yes, you can see little scratches, but what they were enhanced to and what people were made to believe that they were is not true.
I was at work. I'm a tower crane operator, and I was working in Memphis at the St. Jude Project. So it's, you know, I have an earpiece in that talks to my phone. I have another earpiece in that does the radios. So when she was talking to me, it was like, what? I was confused. We talked about where he could possibly be, and then we went from there and led to calling the cops, and here we are now.
Within minutes, they're there at the home.
Yes, ma'am.
It was rapid fire. They had cars.
They
They had
lied.
cars from here down to the
main
road,
road.
as far as I could tell.
So what's going through both of your minds? I mean, are we panicking? Is it this, oh, I think he's probably at a neighbor's house, or what are you thinking?
My son doesn't run. He's not a runner. He's never run away before. I don't know why. I don't know why he walked out that door.
I mean, he's a good kid. He's not a mischievous child by any means. but there's answers to questions that have no answers, or questions with no answers right now that we are searching for desperately, and we just don't have that.
¿Quieres mejor internet que 5G?
I thought it was just important, once again, to be factual because this group of people has a hard time. So this was BJ's from last night. You see how the team has all been, in my opinion, instructed to get back on task. We're going to listen to a few more minutes of last night because you'll see exactly what she's doing.
Real quick. Tonight we are going to introduce the case to Craig because I have had people come in and say, does your husband know what you say about these families? So I'm going to tell my husband.
They must be new. They don't remember when I was around.
Yeah, right.
They used to.
Oh, I'm sure you approve of all of it because it's paying your bills and you don't have to get a fucking job, do you, there lazy asshole?
Have to tell me to shut
up. Well,
I don't think he really gives a fuck what she does to families. As long as she's raking in the money so he don't have to get a job, I don't think he really fucking cares, if I'm being honest.
Show him and see how he feels about the things that
you're gonna show him. Pull up all the fucking deleted live streams, the hundreds of deleted live streams that you did over the last year there, BJ.
have been going on.
You have to be careful with the victims and stuff.
Oh,
Back
for
then,
sure.
like nobody heard us, so we could say anything we wanted.
Yeah.
But now the victims' families are like, you need to shut up. So you're like, okay. I get it.
Well, we've never been horrible. Like these people are trying to make us out like.
Well, we just come up with a million theories, and some of them might offend you.
Yeah.
Oh, you've never been horrible. Okay.
That's it. That's exactly what it is. People are offended by the theories.
You've been willing to imply, based on Sweetie Pilo's accusation of an anonymous source, that Chris had allegations of sexual abuse against him in the very beginning of this, but you've never been fucking horrible. You've never been horrible mocking or allowing your panel to mock their last name. You've never been horrible the way you've degraded Sebastian. You've never been horrible about how you've gone after Katie, mocked her looks, how much weight they've gained. Shut up. You've allowed people to imply that they hid his body on your fucking panel.
That we have.
It was like, no, we're not accusing anybody, bro. It's just like, what if this happened? What if that happened?
Exactly.
I think that's fun.
Mm-hmm. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I don't like these flights.
You don't?
It's larger. It's thicker. It's like a winter beer.
If she thinks Craig is going to save her channel, I'm here for it. I'm with this. Carry on.
Yeah.
This guy is as dumb as a fucking box of rocks. And I can see why he's with her.
Summer, I want something that echoes. Crazy.
Is it?
That's kind of why I don't like putting headphones on.
You know, I just realized I'm going to have to moderate Dylon.
What do you mean?
Watchman's got to you're moderated on Watchman. All right, to the person that was
What does it say on Streamlabs?
I don't have on StreamYard.
It should say tick of the trigger.
No, it says Dylon.
So that's just for Streamlabs.
Yeah. So you probably can do
Rufio. It depends on which side of the teams they're believing. There is like 3 different theories. So the team under Seth and Tony believe that Katie and Chris did something to harm them. That's the narrative that they're pushing. There's the people in the middle that believe that anything's possible. He could have walked out of the home. We have no idea. There's that group. And then there's the group that believe that Seth could have done something. I mean, there's all 3 angles of this. I'm in the camp of there's not enough evidence to say any of them are part of his disappearance. And it's very easy to see that there is a lot of possibilities outside of any of the family members.
I can put your name, Tigger the Truth.
But the biggest push and the biggest narrative being pushed is still that Chris and Katie did something. And that's a trickle-down effect from the team's narrative. That's what they've been pushing all along.
Just call it TIG. TIG.
Okay. TIGG or TIG?
Just TIG.
TIG. Okay. TIG the trig. Okay, there's 380 people here. Let's go ahead and get to it. Hey, Forever Glow. Hey, Kiwi. So, he sounds sweet. He is. Yes.
Because I posted it. We had to get rid of everything for the.
Let me share your link, your channel link. We can drop it.
Yeah, I put one joke up there from like Jeff Foxworthy and
Okay.
Their show, just so people could get a laugh.
Let me grab it real quick.
I made a little a post too with the cartoon bear. You didn't see it yet?
No, I didn't see it.
Well, you might not like it. I don't know. You might want to look before.
Uh-oh. It's not offensive, is it?
His militia bear. Is that the Navy militia that you were a part of there, Craig? Asking for me.
No, I thought it's all like bad jokes.
Okay, I'm going to drop the link to Dialine Craig's channel. No results found.
No, because I changed the name.
What's the name?
Tigger_the_trigger.
Okay, Tigger, T-I-G-G or T-I-G-E-R? That's
Tigg.
Tigger_.
And all the T's are capital.
The trigger.
Yeah. Little,
That's awesome.
I made a little cartoon.
I love it.
If you don't like it, I'll take it down. Just let me know.
Let me see. This it?
I don't think that's me. No, that's not me. Because my avatar's the same, you know?
Oh, okay, hold on.
I didn't realize he had the same name as me.
Tigger the trigger.
You didn't do underscore between the there.
Well, that's probably why. I don't even know if you
Shut up.
tried or whatever, but that's probably why. If you hold on, let's see.
That's weird. You gotta get it exactly right.
Hold on.
You're
Bear with me, guys.
Your internet slow.
Is it? There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. All right.
Look at my post right here. You see that's a Jeff Foxworthy joke.
Let me see.
How embarrassing. I'm sorry.
Never seen it before. I thought it was funny.
Hold on, guys.
I didn't get copyright strike.
They were so young right here.
Somebody else had it and I just mirrored it, you know. They didn't put it back. But I think they make deck jokes.
Oh
The size of their deck. I got you. All right, I'm gonna drop the link to Craig's channel, y'all. So I want to tell y'all something funny.
Cartoon on the post.
Oh, you got the cartoon too?
Yeah,
Hold on a
that's
minute.
what I
Let me
was
copy.
There should be 2 pictures.
She just wanted to hang out on my big deck, but fell in love with the way that I plow the field. You ought to stop.
Hit the next picture. Over to the side.
What'd you do that for?
Hit the side. No, there's
Y'all got to see this. When did you do this? Last night?
The adventures of my.
So Jay
Show
for
that, right?
Jay for Justice wanted to go through Craig's channel. So we cleaned the channel off, and Craig kind of tweaked it a little. Let me drop the link to his channel, and I'll show y'all.
You can just show the picture.
We cleaned the channel off and tweaked it a little bit. Oh, took his extremist bullshit off there. Is that what you did?
Yeah. All right, this is Craig's channel. Y'all go sub up to him. Show him some love. Wait a minute. Show him some love, baby. Yep, there you go. Go.
What
Oh,
is
that's
this
the wrong.
weird
Yeah,
shit?
sub up to him. Hey, little Miss Sunshine. Let me show y'all. So she just wanted to hang out on my big deck, but fell in love with the way I plowed the field. And then he put, she loves my big deck. And then that's Tigger.
Speaking of plowing the field, when are you going to mow your lawn? Asking for me.
his bear. And then look, how cute is that?
I tried to make it look like Roger's old tractor.
It does. It looks just like it. How cute is that? That's funny.
He thinks my tractor
Sexy.
No.
Yeah, y'all sub up to him. He's got 100.
Have you ever even operated a tractor? Probably not.
118 subscribers.
I figured every once in a while I could just add some
And there ain't nothing about you that's sexy. Sorry.
more funny.
Oh, everybody said they're subbed. I'm gonna drop the link one more time. There you go, guys. She said that's what he just said. She thinks my tractor's sexy. Thank you guys. Thank y'all for the support. Because you never know, he might do something with that channel
Oh, yeah.
or his other one.
Sure.
I'm guessing I will stay back. I wish you the best, Brittany. If you can see this, Jen K, is there? What's going on? What's wrong? Why would you stay back? Did something happen?
Did you game finish, Logan?
Brittany, can you see the other comments?
It says stay blocked.
Texas Mama 6. I'm not seeing. I didn't. Hey, Brenda Sue.
Read the comment.
Yeah, it's yeah. What's going on, Jen? Hey, Hazel Eyes, welcome. I don't like when I don't know.
Telling everybody about our kitchen or no? No.
Well, you know what?
Kitchen.
We can. I don't know why we can't. Like, give me just a second, guys.
She's got to prep him on what he can and can't say. Something about their kitchen. Jesus, this is embarrassing. Does she think this is gonna what? What is this doing?
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, you're unmuted. That's fine. Yeah, you can talk about it. Just not.
I'm kind of getting excited.
I'm excited. I am
can't
too.
wait to see this old place.
Jen K, for what it's worth, I don't want you to leave, babe. I see you. I don't want you to leave. I'm hoping that no one hurt your feelings.
Oh,
It's really sad pretending to be Ben, who's pretending to be Craig. Hot mess, right? Isn't that what they said? Ben is Craig. We we had a long day today. I haven't been in a very good mood at all.
What are we doing?
Poor Craig.
Ben Craig Borg?
Craig Borg? Is that what you said?
Well, he's a real person too, even though they don't believe me, right?
Yeah.
You can't leave him out. With Ben Craig Borg.
Hey, Felicia Hunt. Hot mess says, hey, yeah, good to see you. If you were blocked, we would be able to see you. Yeah, if Jen K was blocked, we wouldn't be able to see her. She's not blocked. Hey, the Canadian cat lady. Brittany, you and your panel are disgusting. How do you talk about Kathy P? I thought your channel was not about drama. Who said anything about Kathy P?
Yeah, what?
What?
Yeah,
We didn't say nothing about Kathy P.
When I was working on my YouTube last night, that if the person has their subscriptions hidden, you can't see if they're subscribed to you.
Just so you guys know, I have gone over and looked at stuff, and in my scrolling, and what I was catching up on, I didn't see anything said about Kathy P, so I'm not sure exactly what's being accused there, but I did not see BJ say anything about Kathy P. Again, somebody mentioned that to me about Kathy P's situation the other day. I've heard bits and pieces, but I did not hear BJ say anything until last night. Unless she took it down, but I'm not seeing that.
Like I got 63 or something, and I can only see half of them.
Wow.
Because people have. When did they do that? If you have your subscriptions hidden, then you can't see me if I'm subscribed to you. I hadn't had a channel in a while. They just gave me back my watching channel.
Yeah.
I hadn't even looked at it.
Pip Squeak says, please pray for Nola. They only found 5 inmates. So they found 5. They only got 4 more to find. Yeah, we went over that last night over here. Definitely.
We've been so busy. I think you should just glance at that bombing. Just because it was boring to me at first. They said
bombing was boring.
The guys in some kind of weird Reddit cult, and they all want to depopulate the earth. It's kind of a cool story.
What? Kathy P had a heart attack and is in the hospital, and we have not said anything about her at all. As a matter of fact, prayers to her to get well. Yes. Oh no, y'all, if you believe in the power of prayer, let's say a prayer for Kathy P, please. Tonight said that you said KP was. I haven't even spoken. I didn't even know that about Kathy P until just now. Why would I say she?
Someone in the comments was saying it, Sammy. That's likely.
Faking that. Queen Bee over there said that I said Kathy P faked her heart attack. What? We just need, show the proof of that. Craig said, show the clip liars. No, this is what I want to do. I want you guys, if you believe. Oh, they're trying so hard. She copied my thumbnail tonight and everything.
So once the facts are out the window, there's no argument anymore.
Yeah, let's show some prayer hands, guys, and let's please keep Kathy P in our prayers, keep her family in our prayers. She's somebody that hates my guts, but I don't wish that on nobody. Yep. Exactly. So y'all please keep her.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, God bless you, and I pray for all of y'all. Yep, wish y'all nothing but the best.
We've been mean and said things. It was just
fuck my life.
We don't wish you anything bad. I
don't wish nothing bad on nobody either.
Whatever.
Yep.
I don't want to walk around.
But it was my karma when I was crying. And Nana, by the way, again, you guys were trying to twist it that I was crying over my kid being spoke about. It was very clear that I was talking about my dog and other situations. So you can fucking sit all the fucking way down about saying it was my karma. You knew exactly what was going on. And where are these condolences that you offered and you would never mock me? No, shut up, Nana.
Now with resentment, what do you call it? Grudges?
Yeah. Let's move forward.
Every couple months.
Yeah. Kelsey said, yeah, girl. So my girl Kelsey said she would help. We could do a wheel. We're not going to do a wrap.
I don't want to hear any of their shit.
That's it, right? So it's not a
news that if
that bombing that happened,
his recording, Andy, he said that one of the things he was angry about was that he was not asked his consent before he came here, was born. And my whole thing is, well, who are you to take someone's
Kramit? Some of your songs take me the fuck out. You actually are pretty good with the AI. Most of the people annoy the piss out of me with that AI. You do pretty good little verses there.
Life without consent. Just because you feel that way doesn't mean everybody else doesn't. or everyone else does. I don't know. It's a wild concept. Center, what's going on, my buddy? He says, I was stationed out at 29 Palms. The town outside the base is full of oddballs. So you know about it, huh? Thank you so much for the super chat. By the way, guys, thank you all for contributing towards our goal. That I think that's like four. It's doing something wonky.
Seclusion Works is still over there
It's
after
doing
what
something wonky.
after what they've said about Seclusion Works. Seclusion is over there. What the fuck?
I like your bear. Look at the bear. That's so
Oh,
cute.
that
Steph
is
said-
totally adorable.
Steph
It
said,
is.
I was gifted a membership to Queen Bee's channel and I don't even watch her. I can't stand her.
Oh,
That's
I
okay.
know. That happens. That it
I was
happened to
gifted
me.
too.
I know a
honey.
lot.
I think we
I know a
all
lot.
are gifted memberships, right? I think we
There's
all are.
something going on. I know something's going wrong there.
I feel bad that these women have no self-respect or boundaries at all, and they just sit there and see everything horrible being said about them in all the 7 different chats that BJ's got going on, and they think that it's not. Oof, I can't. No.
You know what you want to talk about? Everybody loved that bear.
The Snuggles bear. I just got an idea
And
for.
he had the cutest voice, didn't he?
Yes.
Oh, God, I should be.
We're gonna start out.
Let's fast forward. She's gonna catch Craig up a little bit. I just want to play a couple parts.
The children's stories, and like sometimes I have to walk away.
Okay, so we're gonna start out
You know, having
with.
little kids in your house, and then you hear these stories.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'd rather watch war, man. At least they're grown men killing each other.
On a live in.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, YouTube.
Hold on.
Oh, Greg, you're my kid. I do it all the time.
Still learning. we can't stop learning until we stop reading.
I know.
So I thought, what better way? Now remember, Craig hasn't seen any of this. So what better way to start this deep dive or to explain it? Well, this is going to be more of an analyzing. Okay, so Sebastian, yes, and I'm going to play the interview from Katie.
Hot Mess needs you to read her comment.
All right, hold on a minute.
Just so you guys are aware, if you're coming in late, we are going to split this into 2 live streams because this catch up on what the team is doing is taking me a little bit longer than I wanted it to. But to catch you guys up on how they're all moving just over the last few days is a lot. But we'll separate it into, I got a new thumbnail for this live stream already made, and I will put the other one up, and we'll do that one probably around 5:30 tonight. So 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We'll do an evening stream tonight too, and do the Tony side of things with the C&D and the court filings.
Okay. Hi, Ida.
Give me 1 minute, Hot Mess. Why is that so low?
Yeah, I got these cheap headphones on tonight.
I've
Can't
never-
hear much of anything.
Why is it that low?
I can't hear it at all. Can y'all hear it, Nana?
I hear y'all.
I don't have it on yet. Something's wrong with the audio.
I
Hold
can't
on.
hear it at all either.
It's never been that low.
I'm not the good judge tonight. I got these T-Mode.
What the hell is wrong with the audio on this thing? Let me try to share it with y'all, but I don't understand why this shit's so low.
I got another pair.
It's always worked.
I don't know if they're charged.
Watch.
How would you describe the situation right
Can
now?
y'all hear that?
Yeah.
That's why there is no way ever that I would sit and put up with that demon. There is just nothing. Exactly, Revival. Hey, Beth. Yeah, they never.
You can hear that?
Oh, you got it quiet. Can't hear anymore.
She's not talking. Hold on.
I heard it for a second.
So there's that interview that I played a portion of.
Okay,
Same scratches. They're not enhanced in this, but Nana's gonna still try to tell them they're enhanced.
we can hear you. All right, we're gonna go through this. This is the very first news interview with Katie and Chris. Sebastian went missing on February the 26th, 2024. This interview was done 9 days later. It took them 9 days to actually come out and talk. I want you to pay attention to what they say about him. Pay attention to the body language and all that. Tell me if you notice anything. Things seem off to you in any way. Or
She wants that motherfucker to pay attention to their body language. That motherfucker who doesn't even pay attention to you, you expect him to pay attention. Oh yeah, yep, great, wonderful. So let me guess, Craig is her secret saving grace. Please buy him that microphone and let him go. I can't. This will be as good as Steve content for Kyle. Oh, I can't wait till Kyle's back and gets to hear Craig going over cases. Please enlighten us. Please
or
do it.
anything like this. All right, this is Chris Proudfoot and this is Katie Proudfoot. So he's stepdad of Sebastian. She's mom, and he I'll just play it. Let's go through it real quick.
To talk with you all. Obviously, everyone wants to hear what you have to say. And it's all about bringing Sebastian home and safely. So first, just express, I can't even imagine as a parent what you two are going through. How would you describe the situation right now? How are you coping?
We're on a constant roller coaster ride of helpless and hopeless and many other emotions all in one, and it's a never-ending roller coaster. It doesn't stop. It won't stop.
Some monsters other than monsters. The drinks to get rid of your headache. You mentioned cake. Now I want nothing but cake.
Walk through the door.
I wouldn't wish this on anyone. Not anyone.
I know we're about keeping hope alive. I'm sure that's in there somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna come home.
He's going to walk through that door. And the street will be flooded again with family and relatives all waiting to hug and love him. And
That boy's gonna have more friends than he knows what to do with when he comes home.
So here we are, 8 days now searching for him.
Your thoughts?
You have
Don't put
me on the spot.
I'm just wondering, do you have any thoughts? I'll tell you mine.
I don't even know where you stand on this. Like,
So I'll tell you where I stand. Okay, it took them 8 days to come out. She asked her how she felt about her son or what she had to say, and she immediately, look at this, snickered.
he did too a little bit.
And all he says is, it's helpless and hopeless. It's a roller coaster. It's a never-ending roller coaster. And every interview that he's done with the news, he says the same exact thing. But he seems like he couldn't be more bothered. Like, there's never been emotion from Chris Proudfoot. And with her,
Yo, Brittany, did your husband just say he doesn't know where you stand on this? Did your partner, whatever you want to call him, I don't care what your relationship status is, just say that he doesn't know where you stand on this? Meanwhile, you have been co-plaintiffs with the biologic father in a filing since October, but he doesn't know where you stand on this case? Oh, that makes a lot of fucking sense. So you don't know where she stands on this case, but she is a co-plaintiff alongside the biologic father. Okay, sure. Craig, have you read the filing that your other half is a part of?
or with Katie, what bothers me is it's always been the same thing. Her kid's missing. This is 8 days. You don't know where your son's at. You don't know where Kendall, you don't know where Christian or Neil is. They could be anywhere. Anything bad could be happening.
That's why I don't like
Because I'm trying to put you in that mode to get you to see. Would you not be urgent and be like, oh my God, help me find my kid? Not once does she ask. She don't. I would be.
I'd be crying like a baby.
I would too. I would be.
I know me. When my brother died, my grandma died, my dad died. I break down. I couldn't talk to you.
It could be Andy Rose. I thought about that too. I'm just trying to say where, my feelings. And it very well could be, a very nervous snicker. I don't think she's laughing because her kid's gone. You know what I mean?
It is awful.
Hey, Lolly, good to see you. But I do want to
There was a time when my brother was in the hospital and everybody gave me like a bunch of Xanaxes.
Yeah.
I feel like that's different.
Right.
You're watching it and you can't believe it, but you don't even really have the energy to talk.
Well, I thought about that too. Like, is it possible? Maybe she's, taking something for her nerves. That's possible. And I would,
And that would make you respond emotionally awkwardly, right?
Yeah.
Not normal.
Here's another thing, like Joe Neal said that I agree with. There's no photo of Sebastian anywhere right here. So let me tell you
pretty house.
Very beautiful house. Beautiful house. But I want to tell you
in a nice neighborhood.
Very nice. And
I'm being weird.
I'll map it and show it to you because what I want to hurry up and get to is the actual details of his disappearance, because that's what I want to talk to you about. But I want to show you the parents.
Initial response.
Right.
That we get to see.
All right. So here, let me show you because she's going to explain what happened that day. All right, here we go.
Walk us through that Sunday night that he went missing. So walk us through, we've got so many people who really want to know, okay, how did this happen? So kind of just walk us through that night.
We were out and about that day. We were having a really good weekend. We got home. Everything was pretty normal. He was playing in his room. When I told him to go to bed, he did. He said, good night, Mom, I love you. Say good night to his puppies. A little bit later, I wound up going to bed and
True,
looking for
Amber,
school. He
true.
wasn't there.
So in your mind, that's usually around what time? When do you normally wake up? Around
That's
6
it.
o'clock?
That's the story.
So were you instantly thinking something's wrong, or were you like, he may
Hold on, watch.
just
Yeah,
be
around the 4th century.
already in the shower,
That's not
in the
good.
living room?
Watch.
I took a second and walked through the house looking for him in case he'd gotten up and was trying to get breakfast or something, because he did that sometimes. About
He's autistic.
3 minutes in, give or take, I was on the phone with my husband. I said, I can't find him. He said,
Wait, did that mofo just say he's autistic?
Yeah, around the 4th century.
Already in the shower,
That's not
in the
good.
living room?
Watch.
I took a second and walked through the house looking for him in case he'd gotten up and was trying to get breakfast or something, because he did that sometimes. About
He's autistic.
3 minutes in, give or take, I was on the phone with my husband. I said, I can't find him. He said, what do you mean can't find him? I said, he's not in the house.
And so at that point, is that when you call 911, or what's going through your mind?
While we were on the phone, and I was like, is he on the other side of the bed? The normal places.
Oh, I wonder if Craig has seen that. I've got the full video. I wonder if Craig's seen how Seth behaved and talked with his wife
Maybe.
or his significant other, whatever you want to call him. I don't care.
He wasn't. So I was like, okay, well, hold on a minute. And immediately after that, we called the sheriff's department and made a report.
I ran all over.
So she didn't call 911. And Andy Rose, I absolutely am 100% would be open to having a conversation. Yes. I would love to do that, as a matter of fact.
I think you
Since
deserve
when?
respect just for a second to even challenge, you know what I mean? Because I wouldn't do it.
What?
Go out and say you look suspect.
Well, I mean, so
Is there a lot of people that are even doing that?
we watch a lot of profilers. Like there's this one guy named Deception Detective, and he.
Whoa, wait a second. That right there. Craig wouldn't even say they look suspect.
Call 911. And Andy Rose, I absolutely am 100% would be open to having a conversation. Yes. I would love to do that, as a matter of fact.
I think you deserve respect just for a second to even challenge, you know what I mean? Because I wouldn't do it.
What?
Go out and say you look suspect.
Well, I mean, so
Is there a lot of people that are even doing that?
we watch a lot of profilers. Like there's this one guy.
He says, is there a lot of people that are doing that? Yeah, your wife and her team have been doing that all along, Craig. Craig doesn't know shit about what his wife's been up to. And this is a damn good view of that. So while you say that my spouse says I was consumed, bitch, at least he knows what the fuck I'm doing. Your spouse has no fucking clue what you're up to.
I name Deception Detective, and he will give you the, like, he's a pro. I mean, he knows it how to
Yeah, I get you.
The man developed a deck of cards. We have no indication that he's actually a lawyer. He claims he's a lawyer trained in statement analysis. We have no clue who he is. He could be a LARPer. He could be a fraud. We have no idea any of his credentials, his background, anything. You see a side view of his face with some sunglasses on, and he sells a $79 deck of cards that you can find the same answers on Google. Woo! He's so informative.
pinpoint when people are not being dishonest. And he's got what you call the deception deck. And we've applied all of those, like, key factors to these. And with each interview, it gets worse. With each interview, it's like they studied the one before and learned what not to do.
This has got to be a fucking joke.
And with each interview, like,
this bitch just said they've applied every one of those fucking 52 cards. What?
Okay, let me tell them about the thump, y'all. So she says that she heard a loud thump in Sebastian's room. She says she laid him down at 9 o'clock around 10.
Jason, we could make them of the tragedy vultures and their telltale signs of lying. Just put their faces on
10
them.
o'clock, she heard a loud thump in his room. She didn't say anything about that thump that she heard in the room until the 4th interview in. And every interview after that, she added more to it. Like,
we don't know what she talked to law enforcement about. That's what's important. Oh my God, I can't with her deep dive. Oh, a full deep dive in discussion with Craig.
4 interviews in, she's like, okay, well, I heard a loud thump in his room. And she didn't go in there and check. She left it that. The next interview, she said, I heard a loud thump in his room. And I said, Bubba, did you fall? Or she said, knock it off. Or she said, knock it off and go to sleep. And then the next interview, she said, Bubba, she said,
Jason, you even spelled it correctly.
she said, Bubba, did you fall? And he said, no. And she said, knock it off. Would that thump not be the first thing that you'd want to mention if your kid went missing and you didn't go in and see what it was?
You know, when you said there was no sign of forced entry or
None.
anything like that, you know, if you're just a cop on call and you showed up, that's weird.
Yeah.
Like, already, that's just weird.
She don't want Craig's honest opinion, because if she told Craig the actual facts and just stuck to the facts, not all this other fucking bullshit, Craig, if he has any common sense in his brain, would be like, yeah, I'm not seeing where you're at. But she's got to mislead him.
Weird. But yeah, that adds to the.
Oh, and there's those scratches that Nana brought up. Can you see them, Craig? They're so bad 8 days later, 9 days later.
A thud, a thumper, a thud, right? So this interview is the first one. She doesn't mention the thumper, the thud at all. She's not going to mention it until like 3 interviews.
I get what you're.
Again, she had already talked to law enforcement. Everything to the media or YouTubers is irrelevant. What she told law enforcement is important. And law enforcement stated that their stories have been vetted and the parents have been fully cooperative. That's the last thing we've ever heard. We have no indication that anything has changed. We have no indication that she pled the fucking fifth. Who is she going to plead the fucking fifth to? Silvers?
Just saying, and then it just grows.
Yeah. That's weird because
Signs of lies.
if my kid went, and I'm just trying to look at it like, and listen, guys, I'm not trying to be judgmental. I don't know. We've never
Not
said
accusing anybody.
I got to make this a point 1,000 times over.
Not accusing.
We have never said
Oh, Craig, you want to see what her panel actually said? Hold on. I'll grab it.
that these 2 people disappeared Sebastian. I don't know what happened to him, but you cannot fault somebody who is asking questions regarding.
Oh, really? You've never implied that they did something? You've never let your panel? You might not say it because you know how to maneuver this, because you like to try and keep your hands clean. That's why you've got 7 different group chats with different mods in every one, so you can maneuver them against each other. But did you forget about this? You might not say the things, but you let your panel do. This is the first time you had pushed back on reality, but I have so many examples of you and your panel saying horrific things. Did that work? Can you guys hear that? I just got a message that the audio disconnected. Let me try it again. Let me try it one more time. Oh, and this is not when she's nodding off either.
Start every.
She is.
Back for all of it, everything. I don't know why it's being stupid, but let me thank this person. Hey, Brandy. Brittany does her best, but accusatory accusations are wrong towards the mother of a missing child or a stepfather, and getting mad when other channels back the mother and the stepfather. Okay, I don't. You would never, ever hear me say anything about these people's support for the Palputs. I don't, because quite frankly, to be perfectly honest with you, I think everybody has a right to their own opinion and to support whom they would like.
Yeah, sure, Jan. Okay.
Regardless of how I feel.
But what accusations, Brittany? Can Brandy clarify?
Brandy says, yeah, what accusations exactly do we make? Because
I don't recall any.
Oh, reality wins. You don't recall any accusations? Is that so?
I don't either.
We're just taking her own words and putting it into perspective.
Yeah.
We aren't putting words in her mouth. So I'm asking for clarification.
Don't worry. I have your clarification coming right up.
And we can have a adult conversation about it. Nobody's attacking anybody. Just clarify with me.
Right. So the troll admits that the other channels do back CP and KP only correct. Wait a minute. So the troll admits.
That's also not when she swallowed the microphone. Again, and I'm using her words. In September of 2024, she admitted that she was nodding off on camera.
Is that the other channels do back CP and KP only, that they're the only correct ones. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure, Samantha. Hey, Shell.
Hey, Amy. You're not attacking anyone. Is that so? Reality wins. And here's a short, sweet little clip for a reminder.
CP, right? So I think
Demon, that's likely, but I also believe because they thought they were going to lose Mischief after Mischief found out that they were talking so much shit about her, that she was no longer going to be the babysitter who set alarms to wake BJ up and was there to kind of like keep her awake. I believe Craig was brought in for trying to bolster her story because, as you can see, she feeds him bullshit and he goes along with it. So to try and give credibility to her story and try to keep her on task, which isn't working.
I think that's what Dog is talking about in this. Is Mama helping you, covering it all up? You know, because if you think about it, from what I've heard, allegedly, in my opinion, I could be completely wrong. It sounds like Mama foots the bill for a lot of what they got going on over there.
What exactly do they have going on over there that Mama foots the bill for?
Yeah, Brittany, that has been my theory from the beginning, and I haven't changed, and I won't. No.
Oh, hell. Nana's got another theory. Imagine that.
And the parents hid the body.
Wait, did you just say that reality wins? Again, one of the prime examples of it might not come out of BJ's mouth. And this is one of the first times she actually pushed back because she knew that we were watching. But usually for months on end, almost a year, she was really good with people on her panel saying shit like this. And then her being like, I didn't say it. I can't control what people on my panel say.
And the parents hid the body.
Yikes. I think you forgot about that accusation you made.
Well,
no,
I'm not,
I don't know
I'm
about all that. I
not
wouldn't
saying
say
that.
that. Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm
No.
saying I think she was the ringleader.
The ringleader of what exactly, Nana?
Yeah.
In my opinion. In my opinion.
I don't know. Okay, y'all were getting way ahead of me on this. I wasn't thinking any of that. No, I don't know. What I'm saying is
She's covering for her son.
Covering what for her son, Nana?
She's.
This is all your panel, BJ. And this is why she's got multiple group chats that none of these people are in, because her and her mods don't really like these people. They're useful idiots to push the narrative that BJ wants out there. So she doesn't have to say things. That's why they sit there and shit talk all the people on her panel. And none of the panel guests, the constant panel guests, are ever in these chats. So when they get exposed, it's shit talking about them because she uses them for her fall guys. Oh, they said this. I'm annoyed with this. I don't agree with this. Meanwhile, she should shut it down and should have shut it down a long time ago. But this benefits her of them saying things. So they're just useful idiots in her little game of plausible deniability. Whoever said that in the comments, spot on. That's where she lives. Poor BJ.
What I'm saying is she's helping him like always.
No, they can't stand
But as far as like body, I don't listen. We don't even know what happened to Sebastian, so we don't need to even. You know, let's just try to one day at a time.
Helping her son do exactly what there, Brittany? I guess these are some of the accusations that they forgot about. But here it is once again.
Regardless of how I feel.
But what accusations, Brittany? Can Brandy clarify?
Brandy says, yeah, what accusations exactly do we make? Because
I don't recall any.
And the parents hid the body.
I guess sometimes it's really hard for these panels to remember all of the things that are said as they're streaming. But yes, once again, Brittany's panel said all of that. Huh. Things that never happened, right? We're all just the idiots.
and the last person that saw him. She was the last one he was with. Now, stepdad here says that he was in Mississippi on a 3 hours away on work. He works
in Memphis at St. Jude's.
He's a crane operator. So he was working in Mississippi. Not Mississippi.
And that's a verified
Yeah, Mississippi.
alibi?
Yeah. Well,
There's people
law enforcement hasn't verified that.
Actually, law enforcement stated in their last interview that they gave publicly that all of their stories have been vetted and the parents have been fully cooperative, all three of them. So therefore, that would mean, yeah.
But he claims that he was away at work.
I mean, that would be verifiable, though. All you
Oh.
have to say is, was Brittany at work today?
Craig, you're pushing against her theories and her narratives. Seth ain't going to be appreciating Craig being on here.
There's 5 CPS cases.
Oh, really? Where?
Before this?
There's 5 CPS reports
Oh, you've seen them?
Within a year.
You know how she instantly doesn't get the reaction she wants and then goes in for the emotion. You're trying to emotionally manipulate and sway your own husband's
Year
opinion.
and a half of
What?
Sebastian missing.
Well, what was the accusations?
We don't know. There's
They won't.
Seth knows what they, but get this.
They won't let it out because it's a
Seth,
child.
they
Oh, right, Craig. They won't let it out because it's a child. We have no indication that there's even 5.
they kept it from Seth,
Again, if you believe that, I got oceanfront property in Arizona to sell you.
the dad.
That's not fair.
Again, he was very kept in the loop. He was at school meetings and everything else. And he sat next to his PI at the time, Heather Cohen, and talked about the last CPS report was likely unfounded because it was closed. But carry on.
Right? Imagine if me and you were separated and I had another, significant other, and there was CPS called for Neil and Christian and you didn't know about it and I kept it from you. Imagine that. He had to get a
Imagine you keeping what you've been up to for the last year and you being a co-plaintiff in a filing alongside the biologic father and your husband not even knowing what your thoughts and opinions are on this case. But it got you in a lawsuit that you lost and are going to have to pay damages over. Carry on.
the lawyer and to get the CPS reports. Now you imagine finding out that there were 5 reports that were withheld from you that you didn't know about, and you find out about these reports after your kid disappears. He knows the details.
You're doxing your own children's names.
Tells of
But
it.
he can't tell
He
you.
can't tell us he'll go to jail.
And that's sarcastic.
He did say that if we knew the details of the
BJ was really pissed that they supposedly showed Spanky the CPS reports, but BJ didn't get to see him. She was really pissed at Nick over that. Sounds like
reports, we would lose sleep at night.
Well,
That's according to the dad.
I mean, that's enough to go ahead and start having an opinion now. Wow.
Well, I mean, and to be fair, and tell both sides. Chris and Katie.
I don't hear you.
Chris claims that there's only 3. Okay, and he says that Sebastian.
If they were against
BJ, let Craig come on panel with Kyle. I won't even lead Kyle. I won't even tell Kyle what to say, but let Kyle fill Craig in on the details of this case. I bet you Craig would learn a lot more facts from Kyle than he would from you. And Kyle doesn't even watch everything, but the facts haven't changed. All the salacious bullshit aren't facts of the case.
Chris?
Well, according to Tony Mathis, Seth's spokesperson, the bulk of the CPS reports are allegations against the stepfather.
Speaking of Tony Mathis, at one point in time, did you not say this about Tony Mathis?
Seth said it on Trevor Lee. Seth said it to Trevor Lee. Okay.
I know. Casual.
Okay. Just the fact that Chris resonates with Clue is telling enough. Yeah, it is. I think Tony leaked that audio too. I wholeheartedly believe that. I think Tony leaked that audio to frame Trevor, to turn Seth against Trevor. I believe that with every fiber of my being. All right, hold on.
Oh, wait. Was that BJ admitting that she's pretty sure that Tony was the one to leak audio?
Trevor say that. I think Tony leaked that audio too. I wholeheartedly believe that.
Your cohort, your co-plaintiff, the saving grace, the man that's so amazing, your best buddy there. Oh, you didn't like him at first until he got you in line.
Yeah. I think.
And you realized you were going to lose access to Seth if you didn't toe the line. So Seth got Tony to get you right in line. Isn't that shocking? Did you tell Craig that you despised Tony Mathis and thought he was leaking things and doing things to set Seth up?
Tony leaked that audio to frame Trevor, to turn Seth against Trevor. I believe that with every fiber of my being.
Oh, every fiber, Amber.
All right, hold on.
Mhm. Huh. The irony of all these things. Did you tell Craig that?
But according to Chris, to be fair, he claims there's only 3 and that Sebastian lied. So I'm going to play, I'll play a clip.
Why didn't you include that Seth had CPS reports in California before Chris was even involved, and that Seth himself stated that Sebastian obviously was lying because he told him to educate himself in the verbiage and language, a 5-6-year-old, that would be appropriate. Why didn't you show him the clip of Seth saying what he said to Sebastian about him lying to CPS in California when he was 5 or 6 years old? Why are you only telling him the bits and pieces about Chris? Oh, because that's the narrative you're pushing.
Who cares?
Why is there reports?
You hurt my child.
So we don't know because he's
same, Amber. I would too.
And I'm gonna come find your ass.
That's why
I said, Amber, I would even let Kyle do it because Kyle has no dog in this fight. He can't stand BJ, but Kyle is a real man that could stick to the facts and not like belittle this guy and include him in the facts, like from an outsider's perspective, but it will never happen. She would never allow that because if Craig has a lick of common sense, he would realize how fucked up she is. And I think for a smooth 20 case of beer, he would probably sell his own wife out at this point, in my opinion.
I would feel too. I mean, but then Seth says things and all of these hate channels are like attacking him. It's crazy. It's just a mess. It's a big mess.
It's a big mess. One year in the midst of
if it were bad, wouldn't Sebastian have been removed from the home?
Yeah.
Courage and harmony. How do we know if Chris wasn't removed from the home?
Because he was at work. There's no indication at all. There has never been any proof that he was removed or not allowed to come back to his home.
Chris says that
that would have made headlines, you dumb.
He was not, the last time that he was in that home before Sebastian disappeared was in the beginning of February.
And just because there was a report doesn't
No
mean
way.
that they actually found anything.
None.
That's true. I mean, look at
Coffee Addict.
We got a damn report on us right now. And I mean, it's clear. We're cleared.
Oh my God. Shut up. Shut up. We will never know if you're cleared or not. It's none of our business. None of our business. But here you are. Oh, these people just drop. Of course she does. That's Francisco. She completely dodges every question. Everyone. Craig, come over here and sit. Take the link. I'll drop it for you tonight. I'll show you the video of you can sit on panel with me and I'll be respectful as fuck. I'll even send you a 20 for a case of beer and you can drink it while we watch the video of how Seth Rogers spoke on your wife's panel. I'll even be respectful. I'll let you call me all the names. You can do all the things. Come to the dark side. We've got cookies and brains.
So, I mean, I do want to be fair and look at both sides and be objective, but
if they show up and they don't see signs of your allegation,
right? We're like, we'll throw it.
They're gonna be like, this is bump. Somebody hates you.
Yeah.
Like, what?
So there's a lot, y'all. This is only the beginning.
Only the beginning of you misleading your spouse?
I mean, if they were looking for bruises or anything like that, they didn't find it. What can they do?
But supposedly, Craig, there's a picture, according to your wife and the team, that he has a bruise on his neck. But the time frame of that would have been when he was with his dad, Seth, because he was with his dad the 16th through the 19th. And according to Bullhorn Betty's timeline and the words that they said, again, their team, not me, that bruise would have happened in that time frame. And that's the very picture that Katie shoved in Seth's face when he got there the morning after Sebastian disappeared.
Right.
And Chris hadn't been in the home since the beginning of the month. So you tell me. But your wife is not telling you all these things because she doesn't want you to know the other pieces of it, what her and her buddies have been inciting and implying.
Well, let me pull something up. I want to let him hear Chris describe the CPS report, y'all. So I'm gonna pull up Smiley real quick.
And again, it doesn't matter. We will never know about the CPS records. And then what does she do? She goes to the other misogynistic POS. I can see Craig fanboying over Lore Lodge. Truly. Truly. I can see him fanboying over the Lore Lodge.
She claims that they came home from dinner. They went to, oh, I need to show him the Texas Roadhouse audio video too. There's a video of.
Why don't you show him the timeline of how Seth has maneuvered? Why don't you tell him that Seth Rogers set up a GoFundMe 3 days after Sebastian went missing? After they had agreed that they wouldn't do that. Why don't you show him the actual timeline? Why don't you show him both sides of the timeline? Every piece of it, because we have no indication that any of the three are involved in his disappearance. And if you want to start finger pointing at one or the other, you better do it evenly across the playing field, because if you want to talk about inconsistencies, they're all there. Every bit. Oh, yeah, he is. Did you guys see Revival's post about his post on Twitter?
Of Katie.
We're going to call it quits here in a minute. I already set up the one for tonight, 6:30 p.m., 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. We'll be back and we'll do the Tony C&D, because I'll open with that, the C&D, the new rulings in Pennsylvania, and we'll go through that. We'll separate them out. There's just too much to cram it, and we've already done 3.5 hours, and my brain already hurts from these people.
And Sebastian having dinner that night, and she's fussing.
And don't forget, Amber, did you just come in? You got to rewind, Amber, or who a casual art, you might have missed it too. If you just came in, you got to rewind in this one back to the Smiley stories part. Smiley is criticizing Katie and Chris for not reaching out and offering Seth help. They think that Katie and Chris should just DoorDash him a hot meal. Why haven't they reached out to him and offered help? He's all by himself. Right, Pointer Lover? I know this was, you've got to, if you listen to anything like and rewind, you got to catch that, because your mouse will, I'm assuming they'll be like me. I was stunned hearing that, and I've heard it 3 times.
At him about something at dinner. I mean, you can clearly see it. But there's no scent trail. The dogs picked up no scent of Sebastian.
The dogs picked up a scent, but we don't have any indication that it was Sebastian, because it didn't lead to anything. We have no idea what scent it actually was picked up on, but there was a scent picked up on. Unfortunately, it didn't lead to Sebastian.
When Katie says that when they came home that night,
you know, if she really wanted to tell him the facts, she would have pulled up the TBI website and gone through that timeline from the TBI and stuck to that.
What you want me to say?
Sebastian took the trash to the end of the driveway.
I'm not even joking. I'm not even fucking joking. In fact, I can pull it up again and just show you guys at the end, so you don't even have to try and find it. I'll do that.
And so they never even picked up.
What level of
yeah, he was on the spectrum, but he was high functioning. They said he was
high functioning.
So he did good in school.
Yeah, he did good in school, and he was a whiz at chess. He played Dungeons and Dragons like Christian. He loved Dungeons and Dragons. He loved he loved all that kind of stuff. He's a sweet kid.
He could play chess.
Yeah, they said he could play chess like it's nobody's business. All right, let's keep watching it. He's going to break it down.
Missing in plain sight. I don't know particularly where they got them, but it was the most complete version of the audio that I was able to find during this week's research. I'm going to be trying to see if I can find a more complete version from the cops in this upcoming week. In any case, after checking the retaining pond, the construction.
Okay, I can't do the Boar Lodge. I just can't. I'll play this part for you guys, and then we'll end this one, because you can kind of see The team is in high gear. Do we understand? Oh, yep. Again, just doxed your kid again. This is, hey, Chris, this is what the team is up to. People think they have all stopped. No, they have not. They've all moved on. No, they have not. If you pay attention, they're all amping up again. Why? Because I believe Seth and Tony are pissed because people have moved on to other cases. And I think some people got ass chewings. So tonight we'll look at more of the at night Tony overlap. And I got some interesting things to throw in there. We're going to read bits and pieces of the C&D that Tony Mathis sent to Granny, her first C&D. And I've got a lot of questions. And we're going to check in on at night Nick the Hat, Seth Rogers, and Tony Mathis.
Broke.
This is Smiley's story from the 17th of May. Hold on to your helmets.
They want people, in my opinion, to just go away. Frankly, they want the people to leave Ellie alone, in my opinion. I know what they're not doing.
She has.
I know what Chris is not doing. He's not texting Seth.
Okay, I got to say this. You guys know that I've been doing this for quite a while, and there's not much that shocks me. This shocks me. This shocked me. Hearing this stupidity out of Smiley shocked me more than being robbed by a lady with a walker.
Calling to see, and Katie's not calling to see, might Seth need anything, or they could just take him. You know, everybody's so worried about Seth. You know, they're not doing the big orange. I feel Chris's favorite color. They're not doing the volunteer state thing and calling to see is there anything, or texting. They don't even have to talk to him. Texting. They don't even have to have no. They don't even have to have no. Yeah, they're still there. They don't even have to have no contact with him. They could text him and say, because he is Sebastian's biological father, and he is pretty much alone, they could say, text and say, is there anything you need? Do you need a hot meal delivered to you? Ubered to you? Is there anything?
So they think Chris and Katie should reach out to Seth and ask him if he needs a hot meal Ubered to him. The fuck? Let's listen to all this again.
They don't even have to have no contact with him. They could text him and say, because he is Sebastian's biological father, and he is pretty much alone, they could say, text and say, is there anything you need? Do you need a hot meal delivered to you? Ubered to you? Is there anything we could do? You know, they're the ones that don't.
Somebody just texted me and said, are we going to do a bash for cash on Tony tonight and get accused of RICO and racketeering? Likely.
I want him to have no GoFundMe page, which he don't anymore. They're the ones with the big bucks, right?
Kurt.
They could do.
Kurt, can you go on? Can you see if she'll give you a link and go up there and inform Craig of what a dipshit his wife is? Or his wife is?
Something. You know. They have each other. That would be the humanly thing to do, to check on Sebastian's father, in my opinion. Stop worrying what all of these YouTubers think, for Christ's sake. That includes me. That includes any YouTuber on here, period. Exactly, Miss Grace. Exactly.
I can't imagine why you're blocked over there, Kurt.
But yeah, but they can afford to go to steakhouses, right? Right?
Why do they have to take up the slack for Seth? Why do they have to be the ones to reach out to Seth? How does that make any sense? She just did this the 17th, and she thinks that they should Uber him a hot meal, that they should take care of him. He's the father of a missing child. She's the mother of a missing child who you all thought it was appropriate to attack on Mother's Day. What? Hey, Eastern girls. Oh, Captain Kurt, that would be freaking hysterical, actually. Hysterical. All right, you guys, I'm going to give you a break because we've been here for 3.5 hours. But we will be back in about 4 hours and 45 minutes. We will come back and do an evening session, and I'll try to include some laughs in that. This is pretty heavy, though, because what they're doing to Chris and Katie, once again, keeping them under surveillance. If you didn't see this, they are, once again, on the 17th, they are keeping them under surveillance. Silver's on the scene, is in the area, filming Katie and Chris's home. They are regurgitating old narratives, spinning them. They're all using the same. Yes. Yeah. Never say never. Yep. 4 days ago. Yep. All of the things. They're redoing everything. But in my opinion, the team got a memo basically from Seth being pissed off and needed to include this. So tonight we will do the throwback and look at Tony at night, what's going on there, and kind of a review. But we've also got new stuff with the court filings, the C&D, and we'll put that in a second piece. So I'm going to change the thumbnail on this one and the title, and I've got the other one already set up. So I will see you guys tonight, and I will not, you guys will get me tonight no matter what. So, and it'll be an after dark stream, so be prepared because we'll probably be all over the place and have some giggles with it. So that'll be 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. So 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7:30 Mountain Standard Time, 8:30 Central Time, 9:30 East Coast Time. It's a little late for you guys, but if you can't see it tonight, maybe you can catch the replay. So it'll be we're going to go over the C&D and the court stuff in Pennsylvania, and then we'll continue on our look back at Tony and at night and how much this has been concocted narratives, because I think that's been very eye-opening. Right. Never say never. It's crazy. Like what we listened to today by all of them, by Silvers, all of these people is truly concerning. It really is. So thank you guys for all hanging out with me and joining me. I know there's a lot of people live right now and doing all the things and a lot of drama, but I appreciate you guys who are here to walk these timelines and talk about these things and continue to highlight what is happening to these families, because it hasn't stopped. It's only continuing. So heck no. Oh, Sammy's request. Gotcha. Hold on. Let me go up. Will I play Kyle showing his big wrench? I can, because Revival's got it clipped. Hold on. Let me find that. Hey, kiddo. Yeah. Hank got a. You're going to want to take those up and put them in your closet, kiddo, so he doesn't get those. Give me 1 second. Let me pull Revival's clip of that. My girls are out early. It's summer break. It is summer. Now I just got to find it. No, I just got to find which one it is. Is it a short or is it a... Let me see. Never mind. I'll find it. The whole fucking... me reading my obituary is probably one of my favorite live streams still. All right, here you go. This is Kyle showing his big wrench. Thank you, Revival. Will you drop your link so people can sub it? Revival has some great links. Duchess, will you drop yours too? Duchess has been clipping some too. You guys are cracking me up.
I got a little.
Hold on.
I got a little comparison I want to show this.
Did you just drop your britches?
Okay, turn it on.
Oh, fuck my life. Here we go.
This is you. This is me. Got it?
Get it? Got it? Good? Pull your pants back up.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. There's the wrench. There's Kyle's big wrench. Pika got to see it while she was on panel the other day. Oh, mini cows and big wrenches. That's what we work with around here. All right. Oh, hold on. While I'm over here, let me just play this one because it's another really freaking funny one. In between. Okay. This is my obituary that Revival wrote for me. If you haven't seen it, here you go. In between segments, I figured I'd give you guys a good laugh right quick because I said I was going to share this with you guys the other day, and I didn't do it. So let me read it to you. He is. So I told you guys the other day when I was on the floor with the flu. Did Turtle Boy get a hold of him, Kurt? My wonderful friend Revival wrote me a new obituary. All right. So here is my recent obituary, because every time I get sick, Revival writes me a new one. So just for some laughs, this is satire. So please do not take offense to any of it, because I find it fucking funny as hell. So here we go. It's kind of weird that I'm reading my own obit, by the way. Becky Sue Nonsense passed away peacefully in her home with an in-ground pool on April 4th, 2025, due to complications from an enormous sense of entitlement. Services will be held at a later date to allow all those who hated her to travel to Arizona. Becky was born in North Dakota 42 years ago. She immediately demonstrated that she thought she was going to be better than everyone else by asking the delivering doctor to hold her umbilical cord. Her obvious and lifetime lack of personality led her to a life of associating with animals over humans. Health issues plagued Becky, aka No Sense, most of her adulthood. She found that factor to be a convenient excuse to constantly act as a victim. She took that talent from Facebook to YouTube, first starting out as a simp for Katie Joy, and then holding her own as one of the biggest hypocrites with the channel. Man, Revival, that's probably what they're using in court to say that I'm ahead of this fucking attack campaign. Came up with the stupidest name for her followers, Islanders. One of her most regrettable decisions. When Becky knew that her days on Earth were limited, she vigorously trained her bodyguard and pick-me girl, Revival the Islander. Again, there's that stupid name. To spend 26 hours a day going into live streams to take screenshots and collect names of those in chat. She carefully crafted Revival into a loyal shit stirrer, liar, and all-around weirdo. Unfortunately, Revival was unable to carry on No Sense's mission, as she pathetically fell permanently into the fetal position on her kitchen floor upon learning of her leader's demise. No Sense is survived by her partner Kyle and his big ass Rich, her biological daughter that is now free from her exploitation, two nieces that she selfishly took from her sister to raise, her friend Cash, who paid for everything, including the expensive tattoos on her Hulk-like body. She is also survived by a house full of demonic pets that are probably already at the local animal shelter. In lieu of flowers, the family has asked that you donate to Lashes International, an organization that provides hideously large fake eyelashes to those in need. I couldn't. Smiles Revival wrote me another obit. And that's that. But ta-da, bitches, here I am. Oh, Duchess, I'm going to read some of it tonight. It's in the C&D. Chico and I got honorable mentions in the C&D from Tony to Granny. We made it. Look, Ma, we made it. That's the second one she's wrote for me. Or she's written for me. She has wrote 2 obits for me now, and they're both amazing. Lashes International now flooded with requests. Chico says, I feel accomplished. All right, you guys, I will see you in a few hours. Stay safe out there. And protect your brains, because holy shit, tonight's going to be a lot. So go do something enlightening in the next few hours. Bye, y'all.